And streaming online and in the Odyssey app at The Fan Rochester. The sports leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950. The Fan Rochester, an Odyssey sports station.
It's time to start the show and talk about the sports we saw. Inside jokes and takes from Danger and Battaglia. Bills and the Sabres and the Amherst. Who gave a microphone to these jerks? Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. With Danger and Battaglia.
Happy Halloween. A very good afternoon to you. Welcome on into the sports bar. It's Danger and Battaglia. Thanks for listening at 95.7 FM, AM 950. Too big for just one app. Odyssey, iHeartRadio, TuneIn. You can take us with you everywhere you go. Also on YouTube and Twitch. You can find us streaming at The Fan Rochester. I'm Danger. That's Battaglia.
I'm starting off this Halloween show so disappointed. So this was 3 years ago now? Dan DeLorean, this is his Super Bowl, loves Halloween, right?
Uh-huh.
3 years ago, dressed up as the insurance guy in all yellow with the bird. That was pretty funny, to the point where that company actually responded.
Oh, yeah, he was Limu, Emu, and Doug.
Doug, yeah, that was
okay.
that was funny. It was a ref. I don't remember last year. It was a cowboy, he told me. And then last night, he gives a preview on social. I'm like, he's Mr. Met.
No kidding.
He has the whole thing. And if you look it up, Dan Drummy is his name, Mr. Met. I'm thinking this is going to be fantastic. All right, yeah, the Mets aren't in the World Series. We're over it. Yes, hope will spring eternal come March. It's going to be fine. I'm thinking we're going to pose, you and I, with Mr. Met. Dan didn't bring it in. I don't know if it was the rain or something. I'm like, go home and get it. But I want to drive to Hilton and back.
Let me tell you something. If you should be disappointed in anybody, it should be us. You should be disappointed in our performance. We put zero effort into Halloween. We say it every year. Hey, this is the year. We have a stream. We should dress up. We didn't. We once again did not. We did nothing. We did not show up in costume. I mean, let's face it. Yesterday would have been the day to do it, because yesterday we had our company Halloween party, and I would have done it if we were broadcasting live from our company Halloween party. We're the only dudes in the building today, so it's just you and I.
I don't need to. Yeah,
like I'm not
here dressing up for the camera, right?
Yeah, right. So, I mean, I'm in the Halloween spirit. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't put any effort into a costume, as some of our coworkers have done, including the great Dan DeLorean, bounty hunter of the finest audio in the galaxy. So, if I'm disappointed in anybody, it ain't Dan. It's me. I'm disappointed at myself. I'm kind of disappointed in you. We could have done more. You know, the executive producer is going to have words with you.
She was trying to help me late last night with an idea, but just like cramming for the exam
never works out.
Never works out. Like what's open at 9 o'clock last night? Nothing.
Yeah.
So no, it's not going to work.
That's the trauma that I have from Halloween as a kid. Aside from the cold weathers in the cold weather in northern Minnesota, going trick or treating like Ralphie from A Christmas Story with the big coat on that you can't even put your arms down, and a costume on top of that, was always the last minute. Like, okay, what am I going as in middle school? Like, what am I dressing up as? I don't have anything. I remember one year I did like a mashup of a wolf mask, hockey shoulder pads, and a suit, and it just didn't. It wasn't anything. It wasn't. What are you? I don't know. I'm a wolf, I guess, but I don't know why I'm wearing. Just never.
Your mom grew up in Spain. Did they have that over there?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That was always tough. And then, you know, if you're a real old guy like I am, you remember like going to the Target or the Kmart to get your Halloween costume that was like completely made of plastic. Right? Yeah. Like the mask that you wear with the small slit for breath to come out, it would always get like gross and slimy inside because your breath would condense inside of it. And inevitably the suit, the Halloween costume, would actually like tear to shreds because it wasn't made of anything other than the consistency of a garbage bag. Terrible. We've come a long way. We've got a great show lined up for you this Halloween. And we'll talk some Bills and Chiefs. Made my prediction this morning on the break room. I said 30-20 21 Bills, a 9-point win for the Buffalo Bills.
Anybody take
on
the Chiefs?
Sunday.
9 times.
Kimmy took the Chiefs. But I think that if McDermott is involved in the defensive play calling, I think they'll do enough. They'll be able to do enough to slow Kansas City down. And offensively, I just get the sense, after a 40-point effort, they've got a nice little ramp up to Kansas City, some momentum going into the Kansas City game. And I think there's some things that we haven't seen out of this offense that we might see on Sunday.
I think that would apply to the majority. In fact, I would even say, 30 other NFL teams the Buffalo Bills face, not Kansas City, not Spagnuolo. Like what? Like, oh my gosh, there's James Cook. We didn't figure he'd be in the passing game. They'll be ready, Danger. I have the Chiefs winning this by 10. I hope I'm wrong. I'd be delighted if I was wrong for Bills fans. But I think the world's going to be on fire. And I think these issues with the offense, and I went on Binkley's show last night and just tried to explain it, because it sounds kind of weird from the outside. Like, wait a second. You're a team that's 5-2. Your first 4 games, you scored 30 or more points. And in your most recent win, you scored 40.
Yeah.
There's a problem. And I'm saying, well, we look at everything through the lens of, is this good enough to win a championship? Is this good enough to win the Super Bowl? And before you get to that, hey, is this good enough to beat Kansas City? And from what I've seen, Danger, no.
Well, I'll say this. If you're scoring 30 points a game, you're probably one of the best offenses in the league. And your defense needs to prevent your opponent from scoring 30 points a game. I'm more worried about what the defense does than the offense.
That's also part of this, too.
Yeah.
News today, Taylor Rapp going under the knife. So his season is done. He was already on IR. The injury report's a little different here. Shaq Thompson's not going to be available. He's ruled out.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Palmer, Daquan Jones, and then come to find out, Taron Johnson pulled a groin, so he's questionable. Everybody else good to go. That would include Milano and Bernard.
Gabe Davis will not play this week. He needs a little bit more time.
I would have been surprised if we saw him out there. So is this the last chance here for Keon Coleman? Last chance in meaning, hey,
be impactful.
Be impactful,
yeah.
Or else, tell you what, down in Miami next week, that'd be a great time to work in Gabe Davis a little bit.
Damon Mendelero, the Bill Maddock podcast, stops by at 4:25. We'll continue talking to Bills and Chiefs with DA coming up later on this afternoon. Game 6 of the World Series tonight in Toronto. And it's not lost on us. This is a big, big deal. Their chance to win their first World Series since I was just graduated from high school. The fall after my graduation from high school.
This is the difference between you and I, because I had just graduated
from Fordham. Yeah,
so we're all kind of, you and I, the 4 years apart. Sometimes it feels like 40, but
I should be insulted by that, but I have no defense.
No, I'm calling myself old.
No, I'm calling myself immature and young.
Oh,
maturity of a 12-year-old.
That's true.
Jim Riley of Ballcap Sports joining us again this week. He's also a Jays guy. Great work on Ballcap Sports on YouTube, but a Jays guy who knows this team. And last week when we had him on, prior to Game 1, he predicted exactly what would happen.
He said, look, the Brewers, they don't have what it takes when it comes to the discipline in the strike zone. The Jays do. They will get to Snell, and sure enough, it happened. Well, we're kind of done with Blake Snell in this series, right? Unless you see him somehow in Game 7 for a relief appearance. It's Yamamoto tonight. So question number 1, how do the Jays go against this guy who is right now, just present tense, the best pitcher in baseball? Like, this is the guy you don't want to face. If you're a Dodger fan, you should feel very comfortable. But another thing, and I found this interesting, like, and this is kind of a common thing in sports, that if, say, for instance, we asked Sean McDermott, hey, about the Dolphins next week, he'd be like, nah, we're focused on the Chiefs. For Dave Roberts to be talking about scenarios for Game 7 and Shohei and everything else, I don't know. Are they just kind of saying there's a foregone conclusion with Yamamoto? They're going to take Game 6 tonight? Because if somebody asked me about Game 7, I'd be like, no, we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Right. It's that is different about baseball, right? In a 7-game series, you hear that a lot because of how they have to manage and plan who's going when. You don't hear it in any other sport. You're right. You don't talk about who's going to be between the pipes for Game 7 of this series. No, you ride with your guys and you focus on winning tonight. We'll worry about that when we have to get to it. We're not load managing anything in these other sports.
Yeah, an October hockey game at RIT. Now we'll figure out Saturday, but tonight we're going with
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get Jim Riley on with us here in about 15, 20 minutes or so, and we'll get a little preview of Game 6 tonight from Rogers Center, north of the border. And one of our buddies, Tim, one of our coworkers, Tim, is north of the border as well. We'll let him paint a picture. I believe he's up there now, or he's on his way
already,
up there.
Yeah, he left. He didn't take my advice. He drove. Okay, the gardener. I'm like,
You know what he should have done? God, if only there was a way to get to Toronto a little bit more fast than driving.
See, I know what you're talking about. Here's the funny thing. One of our advertisers, Salinas, right?
Oh, love Salinas.
Love Salinas, right?
Great Mexican food.
And you go in, and this is I have this piece of artwork. I wish I could credit who actually came up with this, but somebody took the old Rochester subway line map and put it in like a modern-day map and made it a poster. Looks like something you would see for New York. It's
cool.
Like the Rochester subway. And here are the stops, and here was what the plan was, and okay, well, it's kind of it's a cool piece of art, and it sparked the conversation, like, it's like, and it really, like, Aaron over at Salinas, great dude, just brought up, we should try that again, because it was just too big. Don't want to go down that, but just because you brought that up.
Oh, he thinks we should bring it back?
Well, you didn't need a cruise liner to go over there, for crying out loud.
Well, you need it to be fast. Otherwise, what's the point? It's going to take you too long to cross the lake if you're just tugging along. You gotta get something that kicks a little ass.
I guess. Or you just deal with the Gardner traffic and the border and everything else. So.
I don't mind it. Either way, it would be nice if there was a vessel, maybe a fast ferry, something that could take us there. But if not, that's fine. Tim is there. He's dealing with the traffic. He's dealing with everything you have to deal with when you go to a big metropolitan city like Toronto. And we'll get him to paint a picture for us here a little after 4 o'clock as well.
We have time for calls, 866-4FAN, 866-432-6. The question is, though, Danger, is tonight I will indulge. My kids are aged out, but that doesn't mean that, hey, especially with the rain and wind, we might have bought a little too much candy.
I guarantee you. My wife went to the wholesale club, went to BJ's, and bought more candy. I'm like, you're psycho. You don't need to buy more candy. We're gonna have a lighter crowd than normal tonight. And we had 2 full bags already. So I'm a little bit nervous.
Does she consider you for leftovers? Because the executive producer is not. Like, she's like, no, you don't need the candy.
No, she doesn't want me eating the candy. No. She doesn't want me eating the candy. So I don't know what we do with all this leftover candy that she's buying at BJ's. But whatever. She's got the candy. And the girls aren't trick-or-treating because they've aged out of it as well. My little one is actually working until 9:30. And then she's getting dressed up to go to a Halloween party at a friend's house with a friend. So that means her old man, me, has to stay up until at least 11:30 to pick her up from said party, bring her back home, and then she's having a sleepover with her friend.
How is Walter with the doorbell?
Walter's a psycho. He's an absolute psycho. Not in a mean way. He just wants to say hi to everybody. He'll just bark and bark and bark until things finally calm down with anybody new. So that will be annoying. The strategy might be keep Walter in the Italian living room, the screened-in garage. I'll stream Nightmare Before Christmas in there just for vibes, and then flip over to the ball game when that gets going at 8. Because by 8, I don't think we'll have a lot of traffic after 8 o'clock. Not on a night like tonight. So there will be a lot of leftover candy.
The question is, to put you in the candy mood, did you have time to do your candy rank?
I have them. Yeah, I do have them.
Oh, dumb question.
I do have them. And, this year I was thinking to myself, does this carry the same kind of weight? I think everybody kind of knows my stance on where we are as far as elite Halloween candy in 2025. It's getting limited. And there's a handful of things when I see them, it's like, it's almost like that's it's like when you're at We the Hobby and you have to break open a pack and you get like the really good card, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. I would like to start, Gene, by laying out some candy that stock is down in 2025. Candy that has, in 2025, in my opinion, become overrated. Overrated candy.
Okay, so this isn't a top 10. This is you.
I do have a top 10.
You do have a top
Yes.
10. So these are candies that did not make the top 10?
These are not. I can't say that these are candies that did not make the top 10. I can say that these are candies that, in my opinion, in 2025, stock is down. Stock is down. They are overrated. Overrated candies. Starting with the Butterfinger.
What? Oh, come on.
Tastes like peanut brittle dust held together with regret. Not into the Butterfinger in 2025. You gave me a sneer like I just cut your soul with that one. I like
It's offensive.
I like toffee. You give me a Heath bar in a score. I don't know that we'll see any fun size score.
Oh, score, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
but
No.
the Butterfinger, not this year. Three Musketeers, the LaCroix spring water of candy bars. Just give me a little bit more than a small hint of nougat.
A lot of air in there.
This is going to surprise some people because if you're a regular at a sports bar, you know my candy rankings. You know I'm a sugar guy. I'm a candy guy more than I'm a chocolate guy. Skittles are down in 2025. Skittles are down in 2025. They've gone corporate, Gene. They used to be punk rock. Now they're just kind of HR approved sugar pellets. I'm down on Skittles in 2025.
What happened? How did Skittles hurt you? Skittles didn't change.
Normally, I'm a sour guy. Like, I like the sour candies.
Yeah.
Sour Skittles did me wrong.
Oh, all right. So I could see that, but do not blame corporate people
Skittles
for
are
the
down.
candy itself.
Skittles are down. And I'm going to say this as well. I know it's a dynasty. Reese's is down. Reese's is overrated. Reese's every year when we get to the candy power rankings here in the sports bar, every year, this is the annual MJ LeBron debate of Halloween candy. Reese's are down. I said it.
Who would be the NFL team that you would correlate to the Reese's? I want to say Steelers, but that would be mean to Reese's. Like a team that a lot of people like, you respect, but they're never going to be number one. If they're number one, you're really not digging deep enough. The Steelers are not number one. They're not doing their job to get to number one.
As I mentioned, once again, I'm a sugar over chocolate guy. I don't mind the chocolate, but if it's a choice between nougat and neon-colored cavities, I'm going sugar all day. And I saw Matt Beauvais from the Always Game Day in Buffalo podcast chiming in earlier today, insisting that Reese's, who I just called overrated, exists in an elite tier all by itself. But if it's me talking, Reese's is the establishment. You know what they are, Gene? They're Alabama. They're Alabama football. They're dominant. They're traditional. And I'll say it. They're a little boring. I want the next disruptor. I want disruptors. They're Alabama. Number 10, Junior Mints. This is the minty free agent that no one drafts, but everybody respects. The Junior Mint is the Ryan Fitzpatrick of candy. You might not plan to have them, but when they show up, they deliver.
All right. Should my opinion be swayed that in your days as program director at 98PXY, you actually made someone we both know, named her
in our
Junior Mint?
our fantasy football league. And when
Junior Mint,
I
yeah.
see her, I still call her Junior Mint. What's up, Junior Mint? Because she was new. She was new. She was just new around here. I'm like, who's this Junior Mint?
Well, did you say that because that's an 80s term when it hey, look at her, she's mint.
Oh,
Wasn't
yeah.
in that I mean, that wasn't in that context.
No,
right?
no. We got to move fast. We got Jim Riley standing by.
Oh my gosh. Well, you could save some. of this.
Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll go 10 through 6, give the top 5 later. Cool? Number 9, sweethearts and bottle caps. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's all nostalgia with these two. They taste like the 80s, and so do I. My kids don't touch these candies, which means more for me. This is the candy, Gene, that I enjoyed when I was peaking in life.
It's like Necco wafers falling.
No,
Right.
not the same thing. And along those same lines at number 8, because I still see them, hot tamales, Mike and Ike, Jolly Joes.
Ooh.
Cinnamon candy, it deserves its own tax bracket. And the tamale, that's the original Red Bull. Before we had energy drinks, your boy over here was downing tamales, Mike and Ike's, Jolly Joes, whatever I can get my hands on. Mike and Ike's, solid role player. And if I see Jolly Joe's, the grape cousin that nobody talks about, that's still out there, Jolly Joe's skipped the line. They're at 7. They're at 8. I'm sorry. 7 is the payday bar.
Ooh, it's been a while. Remind me what the payday is.
No
all about.
chocolate.
No chocolate.
Just peanuts and caramel. Blue collar candy. It's what you eat when you've got a mortgage and you've got a bad back. Give me the payday at 7. And we'll wrap up now, and I'll give you the top 5 later. We'll go with Swedish Fish at number 6.
Ooh. Now, of all the ones you just mentioned, Swedish Fish, that's the most addictive one. Where
It'll get you.
Oh, yeah.
It'll get you.
Yeah.
Swedish Fish are the Pearl Jam of candy. They've been around forever. They never sold out. They're still delivering hits. What I like about the Swedish Fish, you can chew or you can let them dissolve like a fine wine. They adapt to your game plan. Whatever you're in the mood for, Swedish Fish delivers. They're 6. I'll give my top 5 later.
We make the transition to World Series talk.
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Hey, look, if you're like me, the World Series will be on, and you'll be eating all the leftover candy, or you'll be working on it. I plan on working on it. We'll get to Jim Riley. Ball Cap Sports. Check in on the Jays and the Dodgers. Game 6, we could have a historic night in Toronto tonight. Jim Riley to walk us through it all next on The Fan.
Rochester Sports Update.
Jack Thompson, Josh Palmer, Daquan Jones all out for the Bills against the Chiefs coming up Sunday. Taron Johnson showing up on the injury report. He's questionable. Sean McDermott on this Chiefs defense.
I mean, Chris Jones is a once-in-a-lifetime player. Karlaftis is really, really good. And, the player McDuffie. And, they put together a talented roster. And so we've got to be aware of where those guys are and make sure that we are communicating well on our side of the ball offensively in this case, so we know where we want to go with things and how we want to go about doing things.
Coverage begins at noon Sunday here on The Fan. Tonight it's the World Series, Game 6. Jays up 3-2 on the Dodgers. Jim Riley from Ballcap Sports joining us next. Tonight we got the Amherst, 1-2 this weekend at Laval. Coverage begins at 7. RIT hockey tonight at Colgate. Syracuse hosts North Carolina. Gene Battaglia, the sports leader. The Fan, Rochester.
The beer is cold and the wings are hot. You're in the sports bar with Danger and Battaglia on the sports leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950 The Fan, Rochester.
You have a new destination for your baseball news, information, and entertainment. Ballcap Sports on YouTube, hosted by our friend Jim Riley, who joins us again this week in the sports bar because, last Friday, Jim, when we had you on, you essentially predicted exactly what was going to happen in Game 1 of the World Series. Here we are, Game 6, and your Jays have the chance to do something they haven't been able to do since 1993, win a World Series. Welcome back in, buddy. And it's Yamamoto. This is not going to be easy.
Not at all. Yamamoto is the one Dodger pitcher that I think is Jays fans alike. We all look at this as the one guy that worries us. Snell, not so much, as we've seen. I think they get to Glass now. If we get to Game 7, Glass now would likely start. Even Ohtani. I mean, they were able to get to Ohtani. This is the guy. This is the guy that has the stuff that I think is a problem for the Blue Jay bats. Just so many pitches, living in the zone, pitches moving in the zone. That splitter is nasty. It is dynamic. It is just, it's the great equalizer. Creates soft contact and sets up his other pitches. Yamamoto's a problem. It's exactly who the Dodgers needed at this moment.
Do the Jays alter their approach and try to work up because they've been very aggressive at the plate, right? On first pitch swinging a lot. Are you trying to take a different approach in this game, knowing, all right, let's try to get his pitch count up a little bit here? Because we could talk about, we knew the Dodger bullpen was a question mark, and it hasn't certainly delivered the Game 3 notwithstanding, Jim.
I would say they will continue with their approach. I think they're going to swing at baseballs that enter the strike zone. I think they're going to try to stay away from what looks like it's going to be out of the zone. I don't think they change their approach, but what I do hope they bring with them to this game is a lot of any takeaways from that Game 2. What did you see? What did you learn? What can you bring into this game to attack him more effectively in terms of the movement on that splitter, trying to pick up the seams, pick up the rotation? What did you learn from Game 2 that you can apply to this game and implement? Because their overall approach, I do not expect them to change. I think they will be aggressive. They just need to try to find those elements of Yamamoto's game that they can exploit from Game 2. Because I mean, this is a fascinating matchup with these Blue Jay bats against Yamamoto, and then on the other side, the Dodger bats have not been there. You don't have to. You're not going to have to win or put up a ton of runs. They can win this game by maybe just scoring 2 or 3 runs. 2 runs would have done it last time out. So they don't have to score a ton on Yamamoto. They just got to squeeze a couple across.
We're not really having the same conversation if they don't get a performance the other night on Wednesday night like they did from Trey Yasevich, who is just phenomenal. Talk a little bit about what he's meant here down the stretch. And man, I mean, watching back-to-back homers to start that game, it was almost a snoozer. It's like, okay, well, good luck climbing out of that hole.
So in these games early on, I find that you're looking to see who's got the momentum, who's got the juice, who's feeling it tonight. And to start off a game in that manner, that's exactly what the Blue Jays needed, especially with all of the talk, all of the narrative was that it was going to be the Blake Snell revenge game, that Blake Snell knew what he needed to do better, and he was going to have better command of his fastball, and he was going to bounce back. And the Blue Jays were able to jump on that fastball, and Blake Snell went away from that fastball because he still didn't have it against the Jays. So to grab that early on is a tremendous boost. It's contagious throughout the rest of the team. Like, all right, this is our game. We got this game. It gives you an air of confidence that if you go 1, 2, 3 in the first inning and the other team jumps out, it's like, oh shoot, we're having to dig out from behind. But the way Savage dominated, it was a quick first inning. So the Jays get the 2 home runs right out of the gate, and then the Dodgers come to bat, and it's 11 pitches, and they're back in the dugout. And then in the second inning, he strikes out the side, setting the table. The first couple of innings, it felt like that game was won in the first couple innings with those 2 home runs, and then Savage dominating right out of the gate, continuing it the rest of the way, and giving us a performance. I mean, so much happened in that game. First pitcher in Major League Baseball history to record his first 2 career 10 strikeout games in the postseason. Most strikeouts by a rookie in a postseason game. Trey Savage has number 4 from the ALDS and number 5 from this World Series game. He has been a tremendous boost for a Blue Jays team that, quite frankly, they didn't have Savage. There would be question marks as to how they would be putting together their rotation throughout the postseason, because they would have Gausman, they'd have Scherzer, they'd have Bieber, and then they'd be looking for a fourth guy. He's been a tremendous boost to this team.
So if you get to a game 7, if you're Toronto, is it Scherzer? How does that look? I mean, to me, it's like the old game show, Press Your Luck there with Scherzer there. I mean, you were okay the last one, but is there another option there perhaps for Toronto? So
I think Scherzer takes the ball. He's earned that right with the performances he's put forth in this postseason. The last 2 games he's been out there, he's been Mad Max, and he's given them tremendous effort, saved the bullpen. It's been a great boost finding this Max Scherzer performance that none of us saw coming, believe me. So he gets the ball, and the beauty is this: if we get to a game 7, I think the Jays are actually, from a pitching perspective, set up better because I talked at the beginning of this phone call. The one guy that scares me in this Dodgers pitching stable is Yamamoto. He goes tonight. He will not be available tomorrow. He was available at that Marathon Game 3 game because they had a day off in between. And he wouldn't have gone long. He would have given him a couple innings and then they would have pulled him. He will not be available for Game 7, and he's the only guy that worries me. Even Ohtani, you know what? They got to Ohtani too. The one guy on the Dodgers side won't be available in Game 7. For the Blue Jays, if we get to a Game 7, the only guy that won't be available will be Gausman. So if you go to Game 7 and Scherzer doesn't have it, you can go to Savage. You can dust him off and bring him out. You can go to Bieber, who was great when he was out there. So there really has been, at least for you think about Game 7, there's a big I don't want to call it a boost, but it feels like they have an advantage if you get to Game 7 and you're in that mode where everybody's available. I think the advantage goes to the Jays there. Not that I want this to get to Game 7. I want them to finish it tonight.
Yeah.
I want them to beat Yamamoto because I don't want to go to Game 7. I don't think I can handle that stress.
All right, so let's talk about who they've got on the bump tonight against Yamamoto, because you mentioned Gausman, and I want to get a sense as to what his chances are against this Dodger lineup. Take us back to how this all looked earlier in the series and what Gausman brings to the table tonight, where they could potentially win this whole thing out.
Well, that's what I like about Kevin Gausman is his effective pitch is that splitter, just like Trey Savage. And if Gausman has that splitter, that is what really helped them against the Yankees. That splitter is it is the nastiest pitch in baseball. Everybody needs to have a splitter, in my opinion, right now, because that is Yamamoto's. key. That everything's going to be built off of that splitter tonight for him. Same thing against Gosman. We had a stretch in that game, game 2, where Yamamoto retired the final 20 in a row. Well, while Yamamoto was building that stretch of retired hitters consecutive, Gosman was doing the same thing on his side. Gosman retired 17 in a row at one point. So I think it was the second inning they got a base hit, or it was the last, might have been the first or second inning, and then the Dodgers didn't do anything again until the seventh. So Gosman has shown that his ability to dominate this Dodgers lineup is there, and that's another key element here. Is this Dodgers lineup just isn't hitting. Maybe it's because of the Blue Jays pitching. We have to certainly give them credit in this scenario. Their mix, what they're throwing at them, has been extremely effective. But this has also been a Dodgers lineup that has had trouble going all off season since the Cincinnati Reds series, all the way back in the wild card round. That's the last time this team scored more than 5 runs, and something's just not clicking with this lineup. And with how effective the Jays pitching has been, it's been perfect timing that they are capable and effective enough to hold anybody down. And then you throw in the fact that the other team's hitters are kind of in a slump right now. Just bad news. It's bad timing for the Dodger hitters.
We're talking to Jim Riley, Ballcap Sports. Game 6 tonight in Toronto. If necessary, Game 7 tomorrow night. And Jim, just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on this. We were talking a little bit before, like the analogy here being, if someone asked Sean McDermott about the Dolphin game next week, that would get shut down instantly, meaning, hey, there's a game coming up against Kansas City. We're not talking about the next game. I don't know. I thought it struck me a little weird that Dave Roberts is openly talking about scenarios for Game 7 when you got to get through Game 6. Is that normal in baseball that you could just look at this as a whole, or is perhaps just Roberts so confident that Yamamoto's on the mound tonight?
I think that's the element of baseball, is that you're confident. You're confident that you're going to get the win. You're confident that you're going to get a hit. You just have the confidence. You prepare for that win, whether that win is on the game level and it's just a hit or a strikeout or a walk. I mean, how many times do we see hitters from the very basic level of a ball right on the black, the batter starts walking towards first base and has to come back because, nope, it's a strike. There's just that level of confidence in baseball, and it doesn't surprise me that they're sort of coming into this already talking about Game 7 scenarios. But you know what that does? That also fuels, maybe without intending to, it fuels the Toronto Blue Jays to say, oh, these guys already think they've won. They're already running through their scenarios and their playbook for how they're going to take Game 7. But you know what? We have something to say about that.
Yeah.
So there's almost a little bit of bulletin board material. If I was Roberts, I wouldn't talk about it. I would just say focused on Game 6 and say we'll talk about Game 7 strategies after we take care of business on Friday night. Yeah, it is. There's a little bulletin board material here for the Blue Jays.
One thing about the Dodgers that when it comes to a personal thing, it's kind of, I mean, it's personal. You can't kind of dig too deep, but from a baseball standpoint, it's showing up not having Alex Vesia there, right?
Yeah.
But when you see the team putting 51, when I'm reading this headline, from Yahoo and others that the Dodgers are emotional over the Vesia situation. Again, we don't know, but how much is that kind of playing in both on and off the field here?
Well, I mean, on the field, there have been multiple instances now where they've gone to Anthony Banda when they clearly would have gone to Alex Vesia. And Anthony Banda hasn't gotten the job done when he's been called upon. Those would be the Alex Vesia calls. And, I mean, I think Dodger fans would all agree that there's far more confidence in him to get the job done. Vesia is right up there with Blake Trinan, unfortunately for Dodger fans, as the two most trusted guys out of the pen for Dave Roberts. And you don't have him. He has to take care of family stuff. Family stuff comes before sports, comes before profession. We've all been there. So we know family first. And there is absolutely no second-guessing that or wishing he was here. But it is certainly a loss not having that player at that level of trust, and he's really good, not having that caliber of talent to go to in these situations, going to a guy that's a level down and isn't getting the job done. I mean, he was on the mound when the Blue Jays erupted in Game 1. He's sort of been around a lot of the failing moments of this Dodgers series. He's been involved in those, and maybe if Essie is there, the Dodgers get out of those scenarios and it doesn't get out of control.
All right, Jim, you were great last Friday and kind of laying out what you thought would happen with Game 1. Game 6 tonight. The Jays can clinch their first World Series since 1993. Lay it out for us. How do you think this all plays out? What are the keys? Who do you think comes out on top? Is this going to Game 7? Do you have confidence in your guys that they can get over on Yamamoto tonight?
Well, there's a few things going on. So Game 6 in the World Series in the past has gone really well for the Toronto Blue Jays. That was the Joe Carter home run against the Phillies back in '93. I'm not saying that we're going to have anything like that, but I do think the Blue Jays are going to keep this game close. Yamamoto's going to keep the score down. I think the Blue Jays pitching is locked in, and they will also keep the score down to the point where this could end up being a late home run that decides it for either team. That we could get to the 7th, 8th, maybe even the 9th inning where a home run is the deciding factor, because Yamamoto, while he has gone complete the last 2 times out, I would be shocked if he does it a third time. I think he'll go deep, but I don't know if he goes all the way. And if he can't go all the way, then the Toronto Blue Jays getting into that Dodgers bullpen. It doesn't matter who comes through the door tonight. It won't be Ohtani tonight. It could be tomorrow, but tonight it won't be. And whoever comes through the door, the Blue Jay bats are going to know that they can get to whoever's taking the ball. So I think there's too much momentum here with the Jays. I think the Dodger bats are in trouble. I think the Dodger bats will struggle. I think Yamamoto will do his best to dominate and keep the Blue Jays to 1 or none. But I'll say late, the Jays either finally break through on Yamamoto or get through on the bullpen, put a couple runs across. Maybe a home run is at the center of it all, and I'll say that they take it. I'll say they take it tonight.
Yeah, you don't want to mess around with a Game 7. I mean, you don't see like if it goes extras or maybe you need that spot. There's an analogy here, and it actually involves the Blue Jays. Who was the reliever for Baltimore? Britton, and Buck Showalter never went to him, and then
that was the Edwin home run.
Yeah,
that's the Edwin Encarnacion home run. Yeah,
so oops, season's over here. So that's a balancing act tonight for Dave Roberts. I think you would have to err on the side of, hey, we'll figure out tomorrow if we get there.
No doubt about it. That is where Dave Roberts has to be careful. You can't manage for Game 7, and if he does that, then that could cost him. If he doesn't go to somebody at a certain spot because he's like, oh, I got to save him for tomorrow, that could be a mistake. Now, the same thing could happen for John Schneider, but at least he has that extra day. He can save Shane Bieber or Trey Savage for Game 7. Dave Roberts has to be ready to empty the chamber. I will say this: there's a lot going on here for that just sort of fuels the Blue Jays here. There's the whole, it's been brought up in broadcast thing where teams that swept in the LCS versus teams that went 7 versus the LCS. The team that went 7 went on to win the World Series. The team that had the sweep has always lost. It's happened 6 or 7 times, and the sweeping team from the previous round has always lost. You're back in Toronto. George Springer is back in the lineup tonight. That is going to provide an emotional boost. And we saw this play out when we were coming back to Toronto against the Mariners. They brought George Springer back after he was hit in the knee. Didn't look like he could walk. He was out there for Game 6. He didn't do much in Game 6, but just him being there is an emotional boost, an emotional lift. You have the home run history for this team. It's happened 4 different times. You had Carter, you had Encarnacion, you had Batista, you had Springer earlier in this postseason. There's just the magic is there, and maybe I'm too much of a Blue Jay fan that it's clouding my image, but the magic has been there. There's so much momentum in their direction. I know Yamamoto is going to pour some cold water on it early tonight, but I just think they ride the magic. Baseball is so much about magic and fate and just these moments that the baseball gods bless us with, and sometimes teams have it, sometimes teams don't, and it just feels like, and again, I'm a little biased because I'm a fan, feels like the Jays might be riding some of that right now.
Well, you're a fan, but you're also delivering great knowledge, not just about the Jays, but about baseball in general. Ballcap Sports on YouTube. Jim Riley joining us here in the Sports Bar. And when it's all said and done, Jim, because we won't have a chance to talk to you before this series ends again, tell everybody about what you're working on here at Ballcap that we can check out, not just through the remainder of this series, whether it lasts tonight or through tomorrow night, but also beyond into the offseason.
Yeah, as we head into offseason, that is when all of the transaction activity picks up, free agency, trades, everything, and throughout the entire offseason, I am there diving into it, breaking it down, live streams as deals seem like they're going to go down, or once they go down for an immediate reaction or an analysis of a crazy trade that didn't make any sense or nobody saw coming, or it could be Kyle Tucker to the Yankees. We will live stream if it seems imminent. We'll do the free agent signing watches. It's a lot of fun in the off season, and anybody looking for a baseball fix through the winter, I got you covered over on the YouTube channel.
Well, great stuff. And good luck tonight, Jim. We're kind
Thank you,
of pulling
guys.
for you, but all right, thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
We'll pull it for Ernie, too. I mean,
Yeah,
Ernie Clement,
Ernie.
Rochester guy. We got to see Ernie have
sir.
another great game. Been clutch all
Indeed.
series. Enjoy the night, Jim, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Jim Riley, Ballcap Sports, jumping in to give us a little preview of Game 6 tonight in Toronto.
If Ernie Clement wins the World Series, and knowing that the stats that he has all these hits, he's not going to get the World Series MVP. It would be Vladdy, right? Barring something heroic these next two nights or tonight. Is it the best playoff performance, a playoff run by a Rochesterian? I would probably put Abby Wambach, even though that's not apples to apples, number one. I'd have to go back and dig through Brian Gianta winning cups.
Yeah, Abby's S tier. She's up at the top. But Ernie's run this postseason has been impressive. It's been more than impressive. It's been great. It's been as far as like how provincial we are with our athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right up there. I mean, Abby, it isn't apples to apples because she was global. I mean, like she's winning World Cups and she's dominating in her sport.
And she left Rochester. I think we should also point that out.
Sure.
Sure. Which is nothing wrong.
Yeah,
Like,
Ernie's keeping in touch with his Brighton roots. He's been active, and he knows we're all pulling for him. Looking forward to tonight. It's going to be great. Game 6, Yamamoto on the mound for the Dodgers, Gossman on the mound for the Jays, and we'll see if the Jays can get their first World Series since 1993. If not, Game 7 tomorrow night, well, I'm sure that'll be entertaining as well. But let's get it done tonight.
The follow-up on the Alex Vestia situation, so like Danger, he was a closer at some points, but certainly like top 2 reliever on this Dodger team, not available. His wife was expecting, and she posted last, we're just days away on October the 18th. So no one knows if it has to do with the baby or the
yeah.
herself. So.
Well, that's terrible, and you don't wish that on anybody. And I agree with what Jim is saying. Family first. Now, knowing that we have a little bit of context there, I think, you can understand why he wouldn't be with his team at this time if there's something going on, a complication of some sort. But then I also, in the back of my mind, the cynic in me is like, okay, how severe are we talking here? Like, what exactly is going on? Is it a childbirth thing? Because I didn't know anything about what was keeping him away from his team. Mm-hmm. It's one thing if it's, you've got a pissed off wife or a girlfriend that needs you there. But this is serious. He needs to be there. There's a very, very, very good reason why he is away from his team and his teammates. Obviously, feeling some of that remorse for their teammate who's not there with them.
If they get beyond Yamamoto tonight, and this becomes, can you imagine, okay, tie game, 10th inning.
What if they get to him early? I know that's a hard thing to imagine, but they did it last game. What if they get to him early and the crowd is into it early? I think that's a key. I think you got to try to get to him early. And hearing Jim say that they're not going to deviate from their plan, they're going to stay aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, be you. Get to him early if you can.
I'm wondering, too, is having Springer out there a mistake? We won't know until we actually see it. So
we'll get a report. Boots on the ground. Somebody there to paint a picture. That's our buddy Tim, our coworker Tim, who's there for Game 6. Going to take it in tonight. By the way, we got to raise a glass to Tim because that is, I mean, there's a reason why he's in sales. That's an impossible pitch. Hey, hon, I know it's Halloween and we have 2 kids of age that would go trick-or-treating, but I'm going to go to the World Series for Game 6 by myself. Cool? All right, see ya. That's a strong pitch.
I can't even imagine how I'd pull that off.
It's impossible. I would not be able to pull it off.
I'd have to go to this is for work. I
mean, you use that excuse a lot, though. She probably hears that too much.
Well, I've missed a few Christmas Eves because of the Bills.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the last one. Oh, I do remember the last one. There were 10 men on the damn field, Rex Ryan, against the Dolphins in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Last time the Bills lost to the Dolphins at home. That was the last time I believe the Bills played on Christmas Eve. But I digress. Even to this day, I'm like, it's a career thing, but you don't want to miss holidays. So.
Right. But, I mean, also, these are the moments that you live for as a sports fan.
Right.
And he gets to potentially witness his history tonight if the Jays can close out this series. It'll be great action. Can't wait for it. Also great action Sunday afternoon. Bills, Chiefs. Damon Mendelara, the Bill Maddock podcast. We'll talk some more Bills, Chiefs. Coming up here in the 4 o'clock hour, we have plenty of time for your calls. If you want to join us at 585-866-4FAN. That's the Good Smoke Barbecue and Pub Wingman line, 866-4326. Award-winning barbecue from Good Smoke Barbecue and Pub, 135 West Commercial Street, East Rochester, goodsmokebbq.com.
You're listening. WNIBF Rochester, the sports leader. 95.7 FM and AM 950. The Fan, Rochester. An Odyssey sports station. The Fan, Rochester. Sports update.
Shaq Thompson, Josh Palmer, Daquan Jones all out for the Bills as they take on the Chiefs on Sunday. Taron Johnson showing up on the injury report as questionable. Keon Coleman talking about that Chiefs defense.
A lot of different challenges, different things they like to do up front. A lot of different personnel in the back end, and then they have a great defensive coordinator in Spags. And then on the opposite side they have Patrick Mahomes. So I only played it one time, so it's another game to me. Yeah, another game.
Coverage begins at noon Sunday here on The Fan. World Series Game 6 tonight. The Blue Jays can wrap it up with a win over the Dodgers. We'll go to Toronto next for a report. Rochester Americans first to 2 this weekend at Laval. Don Stevens has the call at 7 tonight. RIT hockey is at Colgate. Syracuse football hosts Bill Belichick in North Carolina. Gene Battaglia, the sports leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950, The Fan, Rochester.
It's time to start the show and talk about the sports we saw. Inside jokes and takes from Danger and Battaglia. Bills and the Sabres and the Amherst. Who gave a microphone to these jerks? Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. With Danger and Battaglia.
We are back. Happy Halloween. The Sports Bar, Danger and Battaglia. Glad you're with us at 95.7 FM, AM 950, the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps. If you're mobile, or if you're not mobile, you're stationary, and you're watching on the YouTube or Twitch stream, we appreciate that as well. At The Fan Rochester, I'm Danger. That's Battaglia. DA from the Bill Maddock podcast. We'll talk some Bills and Chiefs coming up here later this hour.
Yeah, let's go to Toronto. Tim Thompson, who is our general sales manager, up there. Tim, how did you get permission to go to this game? That's what we wanna know,
Impossible
yeah.
pitch. I mean, we are not worthy.
Field research,
Yeah. Okay.
right? Marketing, just observational marketing. It's just part of the job. It's tough, boys. It is tough.
So how
And
much?
it's Halloween, so
Yeah, it is Halloween. It is a tough pull, but you pulled it off. Is there a benefit just going by yourself with the one ticket? Were you able to get a few more options? Was it a little more affordable, Tim?
yeah, it wasn't too. I mean, it was not cheap, but it was the standing room only option at the Rogers Center, where you can get a lot of different vantage points. You can do a lot of research on that. You can go behind the visitor dugout, like right in the front row, the visitor, not dugout, the bullpen. There's a couple landing areas in the 100 level. There's a couple in the 200 level. So you kind of get to wander around and just do your thing and catch a lot of different views of what hopefully is a clinching game.
Have you been to Rogers yet? Are you headed down there? I'm just kind of getting a sense. I want to get a sense of what the vibe is in
It's
Toronto.
wild. It is wild. I was here in '93 when I came up and without a ticket. I think I paid $100. A friend of mine and I just drove up. I sold it to him back then. Was what do you remember in 30 years? And you can remember what you did on a Sunday back in 1983 when we were both 21. You're gonna remember you went to the World Series. So I sort of did use that sell line to the to Ashley, but the vibe here versus then is just it's night and day, because they only had a baseball about 16 years back then. The team had been around 15, 16 years. And it was almost like a performance, the way the crowd reacted during game one in 93. And then you go here now and you see that the energy and the whole community, it's a completely different vibe than it was being here 32 years ago.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
no baseball exists and they love it.
You're a dormant Jays fan. And there's I'm not shaming you.
No,
like, there's a lot of people like,
no.
hey, like it was kind of, now it's back. My question is there going to be any remorse if you're there tonight and they're facing Yamamoto? You're facing right now, this guy is currently the best pitcher in the game right now. Yamamoto, 2 complete games. If it goes to a game 7, again, Tim, are you regretting the move going up there?
No, it's funny you say that. I was driving in. I was going by the Rogers Center. I put on the Mighty Rio Grande, which was the song in Moneyball when they cracked the home run, which you see repeated now all over the place. But I thought to myself, even if they lose, it's worth it. 32 years ago, what do you you don't know a team like this. They don't go often. I mean, this is not one of the big gun teams out there, but I won't regret it. But the Cyborg scares the you-know-what out of me. He is – I haven't seen a picture of that just ease of control. I think since Greg Maddux, possibly. That would be like the last one I saw where it just felt like a video game. So
yeah, he makes it.
But
he makes it look
it.
easy.
I won't.
Oh, well,
I say that now, but I probably will. But
is your plan to get there as early as possible? Because we know from Game 5 that if you're not there early, you might miss some of the best moments of the game.
Oh, I'm going to go in. It opens 90 minutes before. I will be right up there, getting in, finding a spot, because it's kind of a first come, first serve with the tickets I have. And, watch batting practice. I see Springer's in. He's leading off, so that's interesting. Not sure how I feel about that, but I love the guy. Don't know if he, what Bichette does now. I didn't look to see if he's playing second, but I'll go in, get the vibe, get the lay of the land. And it was funny being here back in the 90s for this Game 1. I remember we went to a bar before, and one of the bartenders was like, "What are you guys doing here?" And we said, "Oh, we're here for the World Series." And it's like, "What's that?" I said, "Well, your baseball team's here playing against the Phillies." So it is. You do notice that this town just needs this. They love it. There's an energy. You can feel the air, and it's pretty cool. It's wild to drive by that venue and think, man, there's some stuff going to happen there tonight. I don't know what, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, to answer your question, 40 minutes ago they announced the lineup. It is Bichette batting cleanup tonight, playing second. Springer's your DH. No surprise, they're batting leadoff. Probably, like if these guys go 0 for 8, you're really going to be hurt, and it's going to come down to, okay, can your veterans kind of come up big? We're talking to our guy Tim Thompson, who works with us, who's up there in Toronto for this game. Tim, you've got to take some video at the very least. Like, I have never been in a city where you just won the championship. I was in Buffalo when the Stars won, and there was barely any Stars fans from what I recall, but I just can't even imagine what those streets will be like in Toronto if the Jays pull this off tonight.
Oh, I will absolutely make sure I'm going to be full charge. I'm going to be ready to hopefully be here for that, because last time they won in '93 when Carter hit it, I was in Cortland visiting buddies, and I think I sprayed Zima on people and got thrown out. That's how long ago it was. I kid you not. I shook it like champagne, and I had 2 bottles of Zima. That's how long ago that was. But you can tell that this. I was in the Eaton Center, and there was a lids. I was going to get my kids some stuff, and there was like club lids. There was a line of about 40 people. Had to go in like 4 at a time. There's like people are just trying to buy anything with a logo on it.
Mm-hmm.
I do have my Russell Athletic Roberto Alomar jersey, even though I think he's not as loved as he was here.
No, he spit in an ump's face. I think maybe that changed things afterwards.
Yeah.
So.
No, he had a cold, but yeah, it is. I've never been anywhere in the city where a title happened live. So, and hopefully in February, Buffalo will be next. But the vibes are here, though. The energy's here. It's I think a lot of people have fallen back in love with baseball. I've heard from a lot of people, and I think that's a really wild outcome with not just locally with Ernie, but just how the team plays. It's small ball, it's fundamentals. There's bunting, there's sac flies, there's contact hitting. It's not 3-run home run and everyone strikes out until the next or solo shot. It's a really cool bunch to watch, and can't wait. Really can't wait.
Well, I hope that you refrain from flipping any cars if they do get it done tonight. Document what you see, but don't participate to that manner. And there's always something around Rogers Center that I love, and we used to have it in Rochester. We don't have it anymore. It was one of my favorite imports from Canada, and that's Jack Astor's, which I know is right near there.
Oh, yes.
The Jack Astor's there.
Going there.
If you walk into Jack Astor's, it looks like Canada threw up all over the restaurant, man. That place is just beaming with Canadian pride. It's amazing. So much so that if you saw a place like that in America, you'd wonder, like, what kind of cult did I just, walk into? But it is fantastic. It's a great vibe. It's a great energy, a great scene. Miss me some Jack Astor's here, Timmy. And I'm glad you're there. You're going to have a blast tonight, dude.
I will stop at Jack Astor's. I'm going to do a, pub crawl on the way down to the Rogers Center. and I'll be responsible so I can actually make it in. That'll be my last stop. I stopped at Jack Astor's. I've been there. You're absolutely right. And then when I left Rochester, this one here is like Canada, just, an AI image of Canada. Like, turn Canada into a restaurant bar. And then, boom.
Here would be my advice, Tim. If it ends up being tied, say late innings, and you have the ability for a walk-off homer by the Jays, in those landing areas, wherever you can walk around, and you mentioned the one outside the bullpen, I don't know, I would watch the game from there. Just kind of like, you can imagine what that ball would go for.
Oh gosh, yeah. If I caught it somehow, yeah, I'm out. I got a go bag with me. I'll send postcards to the family, and I'll be in a sunny beach somewhere. No.
Do I become the sales manager then? Is that how it works?
You know what? I'm going to do a succession plan while I'm here, just in case. I've got it all ready. I've got it planned out.
Have a good time tonight, buddy.
A walk off, and again, last 2 times they did it in Game 6. So I bought this hotel. I got it about right before Game 1, thinking, hey, Game 6 2 times in a row. Let's do it. But get those eyeballs on the TVs later, boys, and go Jays. And this is a vibe. I will have video, and I hope it's really celebratory video, not me crying back at Jack Astor's after the game. So.
Thank you, Tim. Be well, bud.
Thanks, boys.
That's Tim up at the Rogers Center.
Yeah,
Tim Thompson.
Yeah, what a scene! What a great vibe! What a great place to be. If you have the means and you're able to do that, man, do it. And he's right. Like, you got to remember Halloween 2025, or you going to remember Halloween 2025 when the Jays won the World Series, or lost Game 6. Either way, you've got an unbelievable memory.
If Yamamoto does you in tonight, and then the Game 7, who knows? It's your call here, Danger. Do we go back to the candy rankings?
Oh,
or we also have a Grinch on this Halloween holiday.
Tell me.
So every head coach that's playing on Sunday gives a media availability. And I heard Sal's show today talking to Sean McDermott. And McDermott, asked about Halloween, and McDermott just said, he likes the Thriller video.
Yeah.
So McDermott gave a little of something. This was Matt LaFleur, who wants no part of today.
I don't give a shit if it's Halloween. All right? We're trying to win a game.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a football guy. Don't question it for a second. I might look like a GQ cover model, but I'm a football guy. I'm tough.
I don't give a shit if it's Halloween. All right? We're trying to win a game.
Just ask Josh McDaniels what he thinks about Halloween. He's calling the kids in to let them know he got fired on Halloween. We're trying to win a football game.
I don't give a shit if it's Halloween. All right? We're trying to win a game.
I forgot about that story.
The soulless jerk this guy is.
Was that last year or 2 years ago? Whatever it was. Josh McDaniels, terrible coach for the Raiders, gets fired. Just happens to be Halloween. He's coming back home. Kids, come back home. Calls the kids back from trick-or-treating.
I'm here to ruin your Halloween. I just lost my job.
And then they asked him about it later. Well, I didn't want them to be teased or anything, something along those lines. Well, really? They're in costume. Nobody's going to, say anything.
I don't give a shit if it's Halloween. All right? We're trying to win a game.
Oh. Ooh.
Wait a second. This is our sales manager. Hey, hey, hon, can I go? Can I go to Toronto? I don't give a bleep.
I don't give a shit if it's Halloween. All
You're
right?
staying.
We're trying to win a game.
We're trying to get through Halloween. That's Matt LaFleur. I mean, tough guy, I guess. Still looks like he walked off the stage of Milan and straight onto a cover of GQ. Your head football coach can't be that pretty, right?
Apparently, and I don't know who the reporter was that asked that question, but somebody from Packers PR put that reporter up to that because apparently LaFleur has just been kind of around that. So, so there was a little bit of a inside play there.
While we're talking NFL, before we get to DA and the Bill Maddock podcast, talk some Bills and Chiefs here in a couple. And, we'll get into the injuries for the Bills and who's active and who won't be out there. in Miami after losing last night 28-6 to the Ravens. By the way, the Ravens feel like they're very much back. Chris Greer, general manager of the Dolphins, let go today. And this is a guy that's been there. I mean, I can't believe he was hired by the Dolphins back in 2000. His tenure with the Dolphins actually predated the arrival of their owner, Stephen Ross, by nearly a decade. He was the GM in 2016. Let go today. Mike McDaniel will remain as the head coach through the end of the season.
Excellent. Do my little,
I think the only reason why you're doing that is there's nobody competent enough to take the interim tag and carry you through the rest of the season.
Either that or it's a soft tank. This is great news for the Bills because, all right, should they probably have fired McDaniel? Yes. Will he lose his job eventually? Yes. But I don't need to do that now and get some interim, rah, go team, go. We're going to do things differently and rise up against the Bills next week.
Right.
Heck, that was the game against the Chargers a couple of years ago. Anybody remember that? The Chargers get waxed in Vegas, and then all of a sudden they gave the Bills a game. I don't need that game to raise everybody's blood pressure next Sunday.
Was that the Easton Stick game?
Yes.
Oy. Yeah, that was the I want to say the Yahoo Easton Stick game. So McDaniel stays, Greer goes, changes are coming to Miami. New GM will likely hire his new head coach. So McDaniel is essentially dead man walking for the rest of this season.
Travis Hunter landed on IR.
I saw that.
Non-contact injury. Now, they're not saying season ending. They're not saying much, but just know he's out at least 4 games here. So for all IDP players,
I know. If you're a fantasy league with IDP and you are using the Travis Hunter cheat code, that has come to an end, at least for the next 4 weeks. I would also say that if you were somebody thinking Brian Thomas was going to get dealt by the Jags before the trade deadline, which I never thought was really going to happen, it's certainly not going to happen now.
No.
You will see the Patriots throw Travion Henderson out there more on Sunday. Remember, Ramondre Stevenson is going to miss Sunday's game, as will DeAndre Swift in Chicago against the Bengals. Jaden Daniels officially will start against the Seahawks on Sunday night. I feel like there's more injuries that I could probably get to here.
Apparently, the 2 guys are out on the Chiefs' offensive line, and Pacheco is definitely out.
Okay.
So that's kind of big.
Let's get back to the Bills and the Chiefs. We'll talk to D.A. Damon Mendelara, our buddy, the Bill Maddock podcast host. Talk some Bills next on The Fan.
Fan Rochester Sports Update.
Shaq Thompson, Josh Palmer, Daquan Jones all out for the Chiefs game. Taron Johnson with a groin pull. He shows up as questionable. Sean McDermott talking about that Chiefs defense.
I mean, Chris Jones is a once-in-a-lifetime player. Karlaftis is really, really good. And, the player McDuffie. And, they put together a talented roster. And so we've got to be aware of where those guys are and make sure that we are communicating well on our side of the ball offensively in this case, so we know where we want to go with things and how we want to go about doing things.
Coverage will begin at noon on Sunday. Bills and Chiefs, the kickoff at 4:25 here on The Fan. World Series Game 6 tonight. The Jays up 3-2 on the Dodgers. A win for Toronto, and they are the champions. Amherst first to 2 this weekend at Laval. Don Stevens has the call here tonight at 7. RIT hockey tonight at Colgate. Syracuse football hosting North Carolina. Gene Battaglin, the sports leader. The Fan Rochester.
They've raised the bar on Rochester Sports Talk. You're in the Sports Bar with Danger and Battaglia on the Sports Leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950 The Fan, Rochester.
There's a few of them. I mean, growing up, you remember some of those big-time movies where you didn't really want to go to bed after watching it. But, the one that that stands out to me is the music video of Thriller. And that was kind of a movie back in the day when it came out. Although it was only 5 minutes or so, but a pretty cool video back in the day.
There's Bills head coach Sean McDermott reminiscing on his favorite scary movies, Halloween, in the Sports Bar with Danger and Battaglia. I don't know if I'd qualify Thriller as an actual movie. Feels more like, a short film at that. But McDermott, Blair Witch was the one for me, Gino. Do you remember Blair Witch Project when that came out? I remember seeing that at home and watching it at home and being like, I never want to watch this again. This is too much. Because it came at a time where, reality TV was just kind of surging and bubbling underneath, and it felt too real. It was too weird and creepy, and that one got to me.
There's one, and came out before you and I were born. Ever seen Rosemary's Baby?
I've heard of Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, jeez. And nobody prefaced that. I'm like, let me watch this. Yeah, that's one you might want to watch if you want to be scared.
All right, we're trying to get DA from the Bill Maddock podcast on. We're trying to get him on as we want to talk some more Bills and Chiefs here in the Sports Bar with Danger and Battaglia. As we welcome you back in, you can join us as well at 866-4FAN, 866-4326. We know that Daquan Jones will miss his third consecutive game. We know that Josh Palmer, Shaq Thompson have also been ruled out for Sunday. And we know that Gabe Davis will not play after he's been back on the practice field from IR. And Taylor Rapp's season is done. That was the other thing that we kind of learned today from head coach Sean McDermott, whether he was on GR or speaking with the media. So a little bit of clarity here for the Buffalo Bills as far as who's going to be out there late Sunday afternoon against the Chiefs.
So Jalen Moore, Josh Simmons, the two tackles. Simmons, personal reason, he is out. Moore, questionable. Trey Smith, back. He practiced fully today, but they're still listing him as questionable. Pacheco is out. So you're talking about three pieces on that offensive line for the Chiefs right now that are up in the air. One piece definitely out.
What'll be interesting to see if Michael Hoyt can be as impactful against the Chiefs as we saw last week against the Panthers. If you see that kind of performance, then I like the Bills' chances defensively to slow the Chiefs down. I don't know that you're getting Mahomes down because Mahomes has just been in Mahomes mode, extending plays, and it's hard to get him on his back. But what you saw out of Hoyt last week and how much of a disruptor he was encouraging at least.
I am concerned about, people will say Worthy, and he's a concern too, but the way they've used Rice as a running back too, just like in the run game, it's a little concerning too. So there's a lot of, okay.
What's interesting to me with the speed that Kansas City's offense has is, and this is what I thought we were going to see. I didn't realize we were going to see Maxwell Hairston against the Panthers last week, but it makes a lot of sense if your goal was to have Hairston be effective against the Kansas City Chiefs, and you've got now speed at corner that can match up with a Rashee Rice or a Xavier Worthy. And I think that was their plan all along. I think you drafted Hairston with the knowledge that that's a guy that can keep up with that Chiefs offensive speed or the Bengals speed on offense as well. We got to see a little bit of him in Carolina, and now we'll get to see the full Max Hairston effect against that speed of Kansas City. I'm looking forward to that matchup as well. I think Hairston gets one. I think he gets an interception in this game.
So, DA, we're about 10 minutes out, and this is a first in the sports bar. Power outage.
Oh, no.
And on top of that, he's got a little one. So power outage, and then he's got to now upcoming drive his kid to this Halloween parade, but he's going to give us a few minutes once the Halloween parade. So that's where he is right now. So that's where, I guess, back in the day, that would be kind of a problem.
Yeah. I've got the top 5. Do you want the top 5, the power rankings, the Halloween candy power rankings?
Listen, your rankings are, I can't say the S word. They're crap. I don't like.
That's not nice. That's just not nice. This is my opinion, pal. I mean, I don't hear you giving out your power rankings, putting yourself out there, making yourself vulnerable.
To say the Butterfinger is overrated.
In 2025, the Butterfinger is overrated. It's long past its prime. When was the prime of the Butterfinger? Bart Simpson? The rise of Bart Simpson coincided with the rise of Butterfinger. It's been a long
since
long
they
time.
don't market Butterfinger now, it's out of sight, out of mind. Is that what you're saying?
My point with Butterfinger is it's always been kind of fringy to me, and right now it tastes like peanut brittle dust held together with regret. That's my take on the Butterfinger in 2025. Could change next year.
Well, see, that's a take that upset me, so that's why I lashed out at you.
Number 5 on this list, Gino, the top 5 Halloween power rankings, Halloween candy power rankings. Number 5, $100,000.
I remember this being on your list last year.
It was high on the list last year. Caramel, crunch, chocolate. I'll call them the Fleetwood Mac of candy bars. They're always in the mix. They're timeless. They're layered. And they're underappreciated by a younger generation. Your kids don't know about $100,000.
No.
My kids don't know about $100,000. $100,000, number 5. At 4, Sour Patch Kids. They're like the Swedish fish that we had at 6, but they're meaner. First bite, it hits you like an insult from your teenage daughter. Then you recover, you get your wits, you realize that it came from love. And they would be actually higher this year on the list. I've noticed with Sour Patch Kids, and maybe this is my age showing, they make my teeth feel like I brushed with battery acid when I brush my teeth afterwards. It's not pleasurable. This is where the controversy starts. Because while I had them as one of the overrated candies of 2025, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups at number 3.
That can never be a number 1, though, the way you laid it out earlier.
Won't be on my list.
No.
I know it'll be on I know it's on Matt Beauvais' list. That's Matt Beauvais' upper echelon, elite Halloween candy. He says it stands alone as the Jordan of Halloween candy. And I'll concede, it's a dynasty. But it's an establishment candy. You know exactly what you're going to get, Gene. There's greatness there, sure, but it's not a surprise. I want a little chaos in my Halloween candy. Sometimes I want chaos. Is that wrong? Number 2, Twix.
Wait, Twix makes it in over Score and Heath Bar? I don't even know you. Twix is so generic.
Balance. It's balance. Twix is balance. Crunch, caramel, chocolate. It's a triple threat. And the left versus right debate remains the most civil political discussion we're having in America. So Twix is number 2 on the list for 2025.
That's controversial.
I'm not leaving any surprises here. Number 1. You know what it is.
I know.
It's the defending champ. It's the Nerds Gummy Cluster. 3-peat status is on the line here. Still undisputed. The combination of crunch and gummy, it shouldn't work, but here we are. The Josh Allen of candy, the MVC. Game-changing. My daughter brought home a family-sized bag earlier this year, and we had a problem. They're not just candy. They're a home wrecker. Nerds Gummy Clusters remain the number 1 Halloween candy for 2025, and it's really not even that close. So there you go. Reese's can have their S tier, their legacy program, but if we're talking innovation, if we're talking excitement, pure unfiltered joy in a bite-sized cluster, Gino, the title still runs through Nerd Central.
The most controversial take out of the Danger household wasn't the Butterfinger take. It was your daughter's take that the Jolly Rancher lollipop is something to behold there, basically. I said that is a troll take. That is a take that you don't really believe. You're just trying to intentionally go viral.
She said it was an elite Halloween candy. And my response was, I raised you better than this. I don't know what happened, but that is not how I raised you. There you have it. The 2015 top 10, 2025 top 10 Halloween candy power rankings in the sports bar.
Now I'm in the mood to chow down as we're waiting for DA here. Got a little bit of breaking news here, Danger.
Breaking news in the sports bar.
Ow! 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 It really hit me. I didn't know it was coming back that far.
So Travis Hunter is not the worst case scenario. His ACL is intact. He's going to undergo additional testing to determine the extent of the injury and how long he'll be sidelined. To my knowledge, he hasn't gone on IR yet officially. Did he or did he not? I'm not sure, but he's certainly not going to be available this week. The rookie wide receiver / corner for Jacksonville.
Okay.
Not out for the season, it sounds like.
All right, well, you make the call here, Gino. Should we take a break?
Let's
come
take
back?
a break, yeah. Let's do that.
Quick break here. DA, the Bill Maddock podcast, joining us next amidst all of his daddy Halloween duties. Next on The Fan Rochester.
Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps and take the sports leader with you everywhere you go.
Back in the sports bar, Danger and Battaglia. Today, apparently, Gene, sports history was made in the Flower City 75 years ago today.
All right.
And you're not going to get it.
75 years
I'm going to
ago.
argue that it didn't even happen because this just seems too out of left field for me to believe this could happen in our fair community.
What, the first NBA game? What?
75 years ago today, Earl Lloyd, the first African-American to play an NBA game, made his debut at Rochester's Edgerton Park Sports Arena. What's that?
Wait a second.
The Washington Capitals took on the Rochester Royals back in 1950?
1950. Wait, how do we not celebrate this? Or even, I didn't even know about that.
We didn't celebrate it because it didn't happen. You're telling me that there was an arena in Edgerton, that there was an NBA team, a pro basketball team in Rochester? Get out of here. I know it's Halloween, but I can smell a trick from a mile away.
When we coming up on the anniversary of like 70 years since the championship or something like that, we were going to, that kind of got thrown on the back burner. We're going to do some sort of party or something like that.
Yeah.
Because nobody believes it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. What feed are you on where you're finding this stuff?
That's according to the city of Rochester.
Wow.
Putting it out there. Again, believe what you want to believe. I choose to stay in the light, not in the dark. I mean, you can keep pumping out this nonsense, city of Rochester, as much as you want. I don't believe everything I read on the internet, pal.
About we had an NBA team in a subway.
Yeah,
and
what?
Ferry and all this other
Okay,
stuff.
sure. Yeah. We were thriving to the point where we had an NBA team. We ain't Oklahoma City. What are you talking about?
What could have been? Are we watching any of Syracuse UNC tonight?
I think I might have to.
It's a horror, right? Like, doesn't this feel like UNC? This is where they're going to get one with Syracuse throwing out this backup quarterback who shouldn't be out there. I don't know who's going to win the best costume in Syracuse tonight, but I can tell you one thing leading up to this, that somebody decorated their lawn. Do you remember the Pilates thing? They call it the Pilates, where Bill Belichick is on his back with his legs in the air and he's balancing his girlfriend, Jordan Hudson. This is kind of weird. Somebody did this in their front yard, a reenactment of this, down to the point where like Belichick was wearing a navy shirt and Hudson's wearing a white bathing suit. But of course, they're skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
So
You didn't see our girl Lucy Burge's Halloween costume, did you? No. Lucy Burge, who's been on the sports bar before, what would we call her? Sports gambling influencer? I would call her a sports gambling influencer.
Yep.
Yeah, she is Jordan Hudson. She is decked out.
Oh.
You got the that's the live reaction.
Yeah.
She has every bit of her outfit down. She's pulling it off. Almost as if to say, why not me, Bill? If her, why not me? That is an exact replica. An exact replica.
Yep. She's well, there's a surprise. She's picking the Patriots. That's shocking.
Yeah.
And she's picking Bill Belichick, who used to coach the Patriots, plus the 2.5.
Yeah. No bias there whatsoever.
None whatsoever. That's going to be the story. Belichick won. And she's going to be out there tonight, right? I would think after the game.
Yeah, she has to be. Isn't she out? She's in charge of his personal brand. I mean, she's going to be lurking if they win and he gets a post-game press conference or a post-game on-field interview. Yeah. She's going to be lurking, right? We're not answering that question.
She'll be right next to him answering questions for him.
That's right. Another note from the NFL that's just come down. If you're setting your Week 9 fantasy football lineup and you had hopes that Niners quarterback Brock Purdy could get his first start in a while, no, it'll be Mac Jones again. The Niners are just farting around, and I'm telling you, when they get Purdy back, I think they're going to be just as much in it as any NFC team.
See, you and I kind of disagree on this. It comes to a point where, like, you're just too banged up. Like, I listened to that, like, Fred Warner was available and some of these other guys were available. Bosa, can't forget he's not there, too. There's only so many guys you can get hurt here. But that division right now, it's the Rams division in my mind.
If you're a YouTube TV customer, you will not be watching Syracuse UNC tonight.
I am so over these carriage disputes.
I see what's happening here.
Oh, I do too. I know exactly what's happening.
You tell your story and I'll tell mine. It might be the same.
It's the same. You could say it's ESPN and YouTube. Bull. It's Disney against Google. And Disney has their own platform. It's called Hulu. So, hey, you don't like that? Where you gonna go? Oh, you could buy this direct or you can buy Hulu because, hey, if you notice, like YouTube, yes, you get the NFL ticket and that's fantastic if you're into that. But their sports offerings on YouTube not as good as some others, and I've done the research there. And then if you take the mouse off of there, then what do you got? So I don't see this getting resolved, Andrew.
I think that this is also a play specifically if you want to drill it down even further. ESPN has their own platform that I believe is like $24 a month.
By the direct, yeah,
right. And if you're just a sports fan saying, "What the hell, YouTube? I want my ESPN." Well, you don't even have to go to Hulu or Disney Plus. You can just get ESPN by itself, and that inflates the number of subscribers that ESPN has to their new service that they just launched here in the last few months. They don't need YouTube TV. Do you need your local ABC affiliate if you're a YouTube TV subscriber?
You can get, when do things go on demand? I'm trying to think, like, what shows I like. People like Dancing with the Stars. I get that. Or The Bachelor or Bachelorette. Me, I like, the only show I watch on ABC is Paradise. But that comes out after. You get that on Hulu in advance. So
you can watch the local news or segments from the local news on the website if you want to.
Right.
Really, if you wanted to seek it out. Yeah, this is a tough one.
I mean, honestly, like when we have Mike and Jenna and Dan on with us and they do a fantastic job, what are they pushing?
Buffalo Plus.
Yeah.
On YouTube. Not on YouTube TV, but on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube TV might have, this is a demeasuring contest between two giants. And this is a case of, we make billions too. Who's going to blink first? Is anybody going to blink? Or will you just get to a point where you're going to have to live with your YouTube TV and no ESPN? And if you want your ESPN products, you're going to have to go directly to ESPN or a Disney property. Interesting. Let's check in with our buddy, Damon Amendolara, DA, host of the Bill Maddock podcast. Talk some Bills and Chiefs quickly here as we know it's Halloween and we know you've got duties, buddy. Thanks for making a few minutes for us here.
My pleasure. Let's hope that what just happened is not an omen for Sunday. My power went out because we've got winds down here in the Hudson Valley. And then a tree fell across my driveway before we were going to go out for Halloween trick-or-treating with my 2.5-year-old toddler. So I had to cut that up quickly, move that to the side, and then get us to the parade for a trick-or-treating. Either that was the most resourceful Josh Allen game ever or a really bad omen for things to come. We shall see.
Yeah, well, I guess let's just cut to the chase then. 40-point.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
40-point performance by over Carolina. But, DA, we look at that and like, okay, that's Carolina. This is the Chiefs. DA, what has to happen for Buffalo to win this game?
Well, I think there have to be turnovers of the Chiefs offense, something that the Bills D has not done as well as they did last year. They've got some guys back healthy. They've got some of their playmakers back. I think that's a huge key here because, this Chiefs offense has been much better in recent years. They now have their full complement of wide receivers, but they're not unstoppable. And so I think flipping the field a couple of times is crucial for them. And I also think making sure they're not chasing this game. That's where the turnovers come in. Make sure you can grab a lead. Make sure you can get a short field here. You don't want to be down 10 points. It's a very good Chiefs offense and very good Chiefs defense, more importantly. And I think the Bills making sure that they kind of stay in the lead and keep control of the game is probably a huge outcome or a huge part of the outcome on Sunday.
We had one of our betting insiders on with us earlier this week, DEA, and he said, this feels like a lock that you take the over on Josh Allen rushing attempts against the Chiefs. We saw how effective the run game was against Carolina with James Cook. Do you see Josh Allen doing what he's done a lot of against the Chiefs in the past and kind of taking things into his own hands and running the ball, making plays with his legs?
It certainly would make sense, although I sometimes get a little scared off by the trends of what we expect is going to happen suddenly gets thrown out. I do expect that they're going to have to and they're going to want to establish James Cook. I mean, Cook has obviously proven this season that he's as good as ever, and he's a massive part of this offense and was a massive part of last week's game. And I think he's kind of the perfect antidote to making sure you don't fall behind to the Chiefs and make sure you kind of control some clock and tempo. I'm sure Joe Brady wants to do that. So it kind of depends to me on how effective Cook is. If Cook is really effective, you might not see that overhit in rushing attempts by Josh Allen. But certainly my guess is going into this game, part of the game plan is, let's get Josh's legs involved. Always been effective against the Chiefs, and let's hope that's effective again on Sunday.
DA, Damon Amendolara, the Bill Maddock podcast, our guest here. One storyline leading into this game, actually it's been a storyline, many weeks now, Keon Coleman and where he's at. And we heard from Steve Smith, a former wide receiver, do his film study. It just was not flattering whatsoever. DA, how much more rope are they going to give Keon Coleman? Because Gabe Davis isn't available this week, but he might be taking some snaps, I would think, at some point.
I think they're probably going to try to get him as much leash as possible going into December. And I think their hope is, give him the space to grow, give him the space to become more effective, give him the space to make some plays. And then if we get to December and it still hasn't happened, I think that's when you get a really short leash. My guess is they'll use the last 4 games of the season to prepare for what they're going to be in January. And if he doesn't get it going until then or by then I think it's probably out of luck, out of time for him. But my guess is that they're still going to want to try to force that piece of the puzzle because it's such a difference. I mean, we know that they've got slot guys. We know they got plenty of weapons underneath, 15, 20 yards. They just don't have the stretch the field guy. That's what Keon is supposed to be and what he can be. So I wouldn't be surprised if they give him snaps for the next month or so, but certainly expect them to limit those snaps if he's still not effective by the time we roll into about, early December or so.
DA, what do you take away from the Bills' defensive performance against, albeit the Carolina Panthers? We learned that Sean McDermott was involved in the play calling. We saw Michael Hoyt for the first time. We saw Larry Ogunjobi for the first time. We saw Maxwell Hairston for the first time, which I believe was just a ramp up for when they really want to use him against the speed that the Chiefs bring to the table here coming up on Sunday. Do you take anything away from last Sunday, their best defensive performance of the year, or do you just say, well, that was against Andy Dalton and a bad Carolina offense?
Part of it is Dalton, that you have to kind of throw out. But at the same time, they could run the football. And at the same time, the Panthers' offense has been far better this year than it was certainly in spurts last year. And with Bryce Young, we would have gotten a better sense of that. But I don't think you completely throw it out. I think you have to give credit where credit is due. And the Bills' defense certainly showed up. And, it was a one-dimensional offense. And, maybe more predictable than it normally would have been. But at the same time, I think you have to say what they did last week was effective. They'll try to do the same thing this week in some way, although it's a different challenge. And I think the Maxwell Hairston piece of this is very important. You've got young legs. You've got fresh legs. Of course, he's coming off injury, but he was drafted for a reason. And the more reps he gets week by week, the more he understands the pace and the speed of the NFL game. I think it's really important. I really think the Maxwell Hairston addition is really important and will pay huge dividends if he stays healthy by the time we get to that early December, mid-December. I think he could be a very crucial piece in this defense of the secondary once we hit that final fourth of the season.
Yeah, we could argue both ways, right? McDermott calling the plays like, hey, he's rolling up his sleeves. He's helping out Bobby Babich. But then DA, I also want my head coach thinking kind of game management and timeouts and challenges and all those other things that you might need as a head coach. Where do you come down on McDermott kind of taking the reins last week?
It's not ideal, but at this point, it's kind of like you got to put out the fires that are in front of you. And the defense had to get better, needs to get better. And he understands that's his side of the football. He's the head coach. He's responsible for fixing this. So I really don't mind it. And I think it may also pay dividends down the road if he backs off of that, but then had his hand in it for a few weeks and says, okay, this worked, this didn't. I understand why this isn't working. You know, you kind of have a different sense of things. It's like working on a different part of the house. It's one thing to, commission the contractors, another thing to actually do the plumbing yourself. So I think that was important. I don't think it's a bad thing. Of course, it's a sign that things aren't going great. That's not great. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad sign. And I don't think you want him doing this all the way through the playoffs. But at the moment, I applaud him for saying, I've got to take this into my own hands. Let's figure this out. And to his credit, they had a very good defensive effort last week.
DA, there's a segment of the Bills fan population that believes that this game doesn't matter because really what matters is beating this team in January. And I fight and push back against that because I think that the loser of this game is going to have a real hard time winning their division and might have a real hard time scratching their way into a playoff berth. What say you? Is this game that important, more important for the Bills or the Chiefs? I certainly feel like there's more pressure on the Bills going into this game.
Well, it matters because if you can beat them, it's massive in the tie-breaking situation. It's massive in where that game is going to be played in January. And it's just simply massive, I think, for morale as well in terms of we did what we always do, which is beat them in the regular season. So I do think it's important. I don't think it's vital. We've seen them many years beat them in the regular season, then lose them in January. So it doesn't necessarily inform what happens there, but you'd much rather beat them than not beat them because in the standings, it's very important in terms of where the playoff seeding is going to look like.
DA, last one, Syracuse tonight. I'm concerned. You are a grad. We cannot have Belichick win his first conference game at the Dome.
No kidding. I mean, of all the games this year, even if the season's a bust because of the injury at quarterback, it can't be this week. It can't be tonight. It's got to be a Syracuse win. It would save the season from pure humiliation. We have to beat Belichick tonight. And if it doesn't happen, I'm not even admitting that it did happen. It must be a Syracuse win.
Bill Maddock right after Chiefs and Bills on Sunday. What are we expecting here?
Yes, sir. Right after that game wraps up, we'll be on Twitter, we'll be on Instagram Live, and we'll be on YouTube breaking down not only Bills and Chiefs, but the rest of the NFL weekend. That's going to be the cherry on top of what hopefully is a good Sunday slate. I will see you then. And Bill Maddock, Bills fans, just find that on YouTube. Find my channel at Damon Amendo and subscribe there.
Damon, you're the best. Happy Halloween to your family, and appreciate the time. We'll do this next week.
Thank you, guys. You too. See ya.
There he is, DA, giving us some thoughts on Bills and Chiefs. Coming up, of course, on Sunday afternoon, the late afternoon kickoff window, and we'll have pregame coverage for you starting at noon.
I know we're late for the break, but he makes a good point about Coleman. Like, if there's anything to be had, I was thinking maybe asking the question, this is it for him. Like, no. Like, you give Gabe Davis some time here, a little bit of a runway or whatever. Maybe there is a wide receiver, but I could see you giving him, Coleman, the month of November to get this right here.
They're going to give him as much leash as they can get away with, Gino, because moving off of Coleman or pulling back on Coleman or not playing Coleman is admission of defeat. It's saying we were wrong. We were wrong in selecting this guy early in the second round and putting our eggs in that basket. They've got to do everything they can to make that work. And, it has to be reciprocal. He has to want to make it work. Mm-hmm. And you know what? If he's got that dog in him, that dog that Steve Smith was talking about, we don't know. That's the part that we don't know. We can watch what we watch on film, but does he have a chip on his shoulder now that he's heard some of the criticism, that he can go out there and actually do the things that people are saying he's not doing enough of? That remains to be seen. That's the dog. If he can, get after it, and it could start as early as this Sunday, maybe there is something to key on Coleman. I think they'll give him plenty of opportunity to do it. It is happy hour. It is Halloween. We'd love to hear from you at 866-4FAN, 585-866-4326. And it may just be a historic night north of the border with Game 6 of the World Series. We'll talk Jays and Dodgers. We'll talk Bills and Chiefs. We'll take your calls. We'll get to shots and last call, all on the way before 6 on The Fan Rochester.
You're listening. 95.7 FM and AM 950 The Fan, Rochester, an Odyssey sports station. The Fan, Rochester, sports update.
There are some injury concerns for the Bills heading into the Chiefs game. Not available, ruled out, Shaq Thompson, Josh Palmer, and Daquan Jones. Taron Johnson, a groin pull, he's questionable. Keon Coleman talking about going against this Chiefs defense.
A lot of different challenges, different things they like to do up front. A lot of different personnel in the back end, and then they have a great defensive coordinator in Spags. And then on the opposite side they have Patrick Mahomes. So I only played it one time, so it's another game to me. Yeah, another game.
Coverage begins Sunday at noon here on The Fan. World Series Game 6 tonight. Toronto can win it all. The Jays are up 3-2 on the Dodgers. Amerks first to 2 this weekend at Laval. Don Stevens will have your call tonight beginning at 7. RIT Hockey is at Colgate tonight. Syracuse football hosting Bill Belichick in North Carolina. Gene Battaglin, the sports leader. 95.7 FM and AM 950, The Fan, Rochester.
It's time to start the show and talk about the sports we saw. Inside jokes and takes from Danger and Battaglia. Bills and the Sabres and the Amerks. Who gave a microphone to these jerks? Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. With Danger and Battaglia.
Man, I'm feeling East Coast dads that have to do the trick-or-treating duties tonight. If you got the little ones and you're actually going to go out, it's nasty. It's nasty. Rain, wind.
But if you're a kid, you don't care.
When you're a kid, you don't care.
You don't care, right?
The old man, you need to find a little something to keep you warm, if you know what I mean, and maybe that gets you through. But it ain't going to be easy tonight. This is not an easy night for the trick-or-treaters on Halloween.
I'd also like to give a shout-out to every parent and supporter of Section 5 football tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, you got Bryant and Irondequoit tonight. Yeah, you got Victor Thomas. You've got some good matchups here tonight.
Yeah.
Where's Victor Schrader? My apologies. But, dress warm, everyone.
Playing in the elements.
Yeah.
Whether you're trick-or-treating or playing a Section 5 semifinal. Good stuff as we welcome you into Happy Hour, the sports bar with Danger and Battaglia, back at 95.7 FM, AM 950. You can find us in the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps as well. If you're mobile, you can watch us on our YouTube channel and Twitch stream at The Fan Rochester. And you can always engage with us at The Fan Rochester. That's on Elon's Twitter, wherever, whatever your social platform of choice is. Bottle Service tweeting us at The Fan Rochester.
Bottle Service.
Going to be honest, 6 to 10, you're in the 500 years old range, but you brought it back with an elite top 5. That's the Halloween candy power rankings that I unveiled earlier here in the sports bar. Okay, I'll hear what he says there. There's some candy there in the 10 to 6 range that is really more about my youth and nostalgia than anything.
Okay, so is there a finger quote old man candy? I know Werther's would be one.
No, look, hot tamales are not a thing anymore. When was the last time you had a hot tamale? Right?
Couldn't tell you.
That was a staple when I was growing up. It was Red Bull before Red Bull was Red Bull. You just pop some hot tamales with Mike and Ike's, you get an immediate sugar rush.
Dude, we grew up with candy cigarettes.
Yeah?
Literally, they were these little packs, and there's this chalky type of candy, and you pretend like you were smoking.
That's right. Remember those? Yeah, thank you for that. We did bring it home with a solid top 5, but there's no question. Candy innovation has not been eclipsed. The Nerds Gummy Cluster is the biggest innovation in candy, in Halloween candy, since the Sour Patch Kid. Also a top 5 candy for Halloween. We'll be dishing it out, and we'll be paying attention to what happens north of the border as the Jays look to get their first World Series title since 1993.
Wow. Fun night up in Toronto, but Yamamoto is so good. Here's the key, Danger. There is really nobody in that Dodger bullpen that should scare Toronto. Yes, that 18-inning game, but you had to do some different things there. How do you get to Yamamoto tonight? We were joined earlier by Jim Riley, and I kind of brought up it's kind of cliche. You work counts, you do everything, and he's like, no, this is the J signature. Hey, if it's a good pitch, swing at it. Be aggressive.
Yeah.
Keep the other team on its heels, and this is what Toronto's known for. So do not deviate from what you've been doing here all this postseason.
What a zoo that place will be if the Jays can somehow find a way to do what they did in Game 5, get off to an early lead, jump all over Yamamoto the way they did on Snell. I know that that's easier said than done, but, man, that would, I think, go a long way towards securing the win tonight and getting that World Series title and not pushing this to a Game 7 where anything is up for grabs.
So Springer is in the lineup tonight. He's batting DH. He's batting leadoff as the DH. And you have second baseman Bo Bichette batting cleanup tonight. Ernie Clement is batting eighth.
Okay.
Should every kid in Rochester have a 24 jersey for Ernie Clement?
I think it's great.
Point? Yeah.
I think it's absolutely fantastic. And how much pride will we have as a community knowing that guy represents us the way he does, and he's a champion. Let's hope, and we'll keep We'll keep tabs on that. We'll also be keeping tabs on the Dome. We can't lose tonight. We can't give Belichick his first conference win on Halloween.
It's trending in that direction. UNC, they didn't get blown out at Cal. Well, Cal's bad at football, right? But it was last week playing a ranked Virginia team that, hey, you could just kick the extra point and send it to another round of overtime. No, you go for two and you're short. You lose. Syracuse has a backup quarterback. We were joined by DA. This is a lost season for the Orange. They're not going to be going to a bowl game. Very disappointing coming off a 10-win season. You cannot lose this game. Period. End of story. Not in this region. Maybe Syracuse a little out of the blast zone of Bills fans. I think Syracuse is more divided. Giants, the Bills, maybe a little bit, maybe a little Jets in there. Certainly some downstate. But no, this guy coming back right down the road, no, don't let him get a win, his first ACC win tonight.
Now to the main event, which happens Sunday afternoon. You'll hear Bills Chiefs on the Fan Rochester. Our pregame coverage gets underway at 12 noon on Sunday. The injury report. We know that Daquan Jones will miss his third consecutive game. We know that Josh Palmer, although he was practicing in a limited fashion this week, will not play on Sunday. We know that Shaq Thompson will miss time with his hamstring injury.
So that puts to rest that storyline. Remember, we're thinking, boy, would McDermott actually split reps with his captain if his captain were healthy? No, Bernard is going to be out there. I can't imagine Andreessen taking any reps from Bernard unless Bernard needed a breather. The question is, what do you do now at the outside backer? Gosh, this goes back to one of the conversations we had in camp. Matt Milano and Dorian Williams. And, well, Dorian Williams has been good. Matt Milano, this is nearing the end. So, McDermott always leans on the side of his veterans, so that's one thing to watch. Do we see more from the two rookie players in the secondary? I believe we would. Hairston is ready to go. You've got Hancock back there. One player that we won't see for the rest of the season, come to find out today that Taylor Rapp had some surgery on his knees, so not only is he on IR, he's not coming back this season. That's a bummer.
If you're holding your breath that Gabe Davis would make a return to the Bills lineup, it's not going to be this week, as Sean McDermott kind of confirming with the amount of time that he's missed, need a little bit more of a ramp-up period for him before he gets back on the field, which I believe gives Keon Coleman an opportunity here. If they're targeting, if he can get some separation and Josh finds some trust with his second-year wide receiver, maybe it's a Keon Coleman game.
Maybe. Or this will just kind of add to what Steve Smith and others have been saying, that maybe Coleman isn't the guy. Ultimately, danger, if you're going to say, how do the Bills win this game? It's Cook and Allen. It's Cook and Allen. I love that over-under prop that PJ gave to us, that, wait a second, Josh Allen rushing attempts is only set at 7. He's gone 8 or over on 8 of the 9 times so far against the Chiefs. Josh Allen, if it's going to be, it's up to me. And you better believe, too, hey, it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. Yeah, Allen's going to take a few of those to himself. Those counts as rushing attempts. So Allen and Cook, and how do they utilize them? I hope I'm wrong on this. I just think that Spagnuolo is just so good, and this Chiefs defense danger, it's better than it was last year. I see the Chiefs winning this game by 10.
I'm going to have a little faith that the Bills' defense is going to repeat their performance against Carolina. I know that Kansas City and Carolina are two completely different offenses, but McDermott being involved made a difference having some youth and some energy and some fresh legs out there made a difference. Those legs, as far as we can tell, are still fresh. So I think the defense can hold Kansas City in check, get a couple of takeaways. I like the Bills in this game, 30-21, and they get the win at home, and they help themselves here in what's going to be a tight race down the stretch, not just to win the division, but to get the proper seeding. I think the 1 seed is still going to be in play. I believe Indy loses to Pittsburgh, and now we can have that conversation again about where the Bills are in the AFC pecking order.
All right. So New England, this is not a layup for them.
No.
They get Atlanta this week. We haven't picked this one.
And no Ramondre Stevenson for the Patriots as well.
Correct.
It'll be the rookie, Travion Henderson.
Which many have said, why not more Henderson? Why not? Maybe they've been saving him. Maybe he's not an every down type of back. I just think that, look, you can't penalize the Patriots for their schedule. However, it's now it's a team that they need to win. Atlanta's turned in some stinkers, and part of the reason is they didn't have their quarterback. Well, he's back. Penix is back here, so we'll see what happens.
I think another reason why this win this weekend matters for the Bills and why they need this win. They have the tiebreaker over the Ravens, but right now it looks like the Ravens are the team in the AFC North that's going to win that division. I mean, they're playing the best football in that division right now. Even though I'm predicting that Pittsburgh will upset Indianapolis, the way the Ravens just flicked Miami off their shoulder like a bug, so much so that the Dolphins today parting ways with their general manager who's been in-house since 2000, who's been the GM since 2016, Chris Greer, looking for work.
This is great. And why is it great? Because you're going to hire a new GM, and that GM's going to hire Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel's staying on, like, what do they call it in wrestling, to do the honors? They didn't fire him, but he's not going to keep his job, barring some miraculous comeback, which is not going to happen. I didn't need an interim coach rah-rahing the Dolphins and coaching this team to an upset over Buffalo next week. I need McDaniel still down there. I need that.
You need a dead man walking.
Yes, yeah. So this is all going according to plan.
Such a half measure by Stephen Ross, almost as if to say, yeah, I have the courage to fire the guy that's been here since 2000, but I'm not going to fire the guy that I extended last season through the 2028 season. I'm going to make that decision up to the new GM that we hire.
That's what new GM would want to marry themselves to Mike McDaniel. The new GM would want to go through the process and make sure he's aligned, which ultimately, Danger, if they move on, that's not a bad thing. Chris Greer did not earn the right to pick another head coach.
Agreed. But that is staggering to me that McDaniel did sign an extension last season, and he is tied with the team through 2028. Yikes.
These aliens have the money. It's just a write-off. I mean, hell, if you're paying Brian Kelly $54 million, whatever, to walk away, why is it such a big deal in the NFL?
Oh, the AD lost his job today. They parted ways at LSU. Yeah, I saw that. Back to the NFL. Travis Hunter for the Jags, rookie wide receiver / corner. Non-contact knee injury. So he's going to be on injured reserve, but the good news is the ACL is intact. So non-contact injury, immediately you fear the worst. Maybe this is of the Maxwell Hairston knee injury variety that, it's a sprain and it's something he can come back to later this season, later this season. The ACL is intact. Good news for Travis Hunter, but he will be missing some time here for the Jags.
Back to the Ravens here. They got a fine this afternoon. Yeah. So this was going into the Bears game, and hey, Lamar Jackson, full participant Friday. Great. Except he wasn't. Like, wait a second. In this day and age of betting, and then the Ravens putting out, kind of the correction last second, and Jackson didn't. Not only did the Ravens not lose a draft pick over this, they were fined $100,000.
Yeah.
That's the precedent you're going to set. Ooh, like every team is going to be worried. Oh my gosh, we can't lie.
Yeah, the NFL and the NCAA both giving you every opportunity to cheat. Just cheat. The worst thing that happens is that, and if you get a win when you need it most, and the Ravens needed that win last week against the Bears, they got it. And I'm not saying that the Bears, should be upset. Like, if you are upset and you're the Bears, like, you lost to Snoop Huntley. You got snooped by the Ravens. You can't say, oh, we were preparing for Lamar and then we weren't ready for. Snoop Huntley is not Lamar Jackson, but he was the best quarterback on the field that Sunday. And if it caught you off guard, shame on you. $100,000 to get a win that you needed to get. I think you would take that if you're an NFL team.
Yeah, without question.
You would take that. And they are playing it perfectly. We are contrite. This was clerical. This was not intentional. Everybody's got their talking points down. The messaging is clear and concise. They put out the release. They're not going to dispute it. They're not going to appeal. Good job, Ravens. Cheating alive and well in the NFL.
That we have, and we have shots coming up here.
Oh, yeah. Let's get to a round of shots, Gino.
Yeah, with all this positivity regarding baseball, there might be a little scandal on the horizon here, Mike Danger. Like, I guarantee that the majority haven't heard about this. We'll explain this here. College football, as we've been talking about, absolutely drunk. Sabres continue to saber here. Doing that, we'll set you up for college football Saturday as well.
Okay. A round of shots coming up and last call coming up. You can have the final word in the sports bar. Join us at 866-4FAN, 585-866-4326.
You're listening to the Sports Bar with Sports Update.
3 players are out for the Bills against the Chiefs coming up Sunday. Shaq Thompson, Josh Palmer, and Daquan Jones. Taron Johnson pulled a groin in practice. He is questionable. Sean McDermott certainly has respect for that Chiefs defense.
I mean, Chris Jones is a once-in-a-lifetime player. Karlaftis is really, really good. And, the players McDuffie, and, they put together a talented roster. And so we've got to be aware of where those guys are and make sure that we are communicating well on our side of the ball offensively in this case, so we know where we want to go with things and how we want to go about doing things.
Coverage begins at noon on Sunday. World Series Game 6 tonight. The Jays up 3-2 on the Dodgers. We'll talk more about this game coming up in shots. Amerks tonight here on the Fan. Don Stevens has the call, 1-2 in Laval. RIT hockey tonight at Colgate. Syracuse football hosting Belichick in North Carolina. Gene Battaglin, the sports leader, the Fan, Rochester.
Listen to the Sports Bar with Danger and Battaglia on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. The Fan, Rochester.
It's a really good test for our group. We were a really good road team last year. The game in Cleveland was a big game. They always have big crowds. I think there was about 10,000. And just making sure you're poised and composed. The crowd can have a huge impact on it, and you just got to focus. It's basically your team against, 18,000 screaming fans, and you just got to make sure you know how to manage those situations and the ebbs and flows in the game, and just make sure you're connected as a group and just focus on what your team needs to do to be successful.
Amerks head coach Mike Leone joining us earlier this week in the Sports Bar. A little preview of what we'll get tonight as the team is in Laval. Back-to-back nights.
Yeah, we're trying to make it 5 in a row here.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go, Amerks. Come back. 4-point weekend here. World Series tonight. We'll get to Syracuse in a second, and we'll get to some Sabres hockey as well and some other things we haven't gotten to. But the World Series is the focus tonight. And the guy we're watching, we've been talking a lot about, and for good reason, Dodgers starter Yoshinobu Yamamoto. What about the other guy? Kevin Gossman with the Jays. Now, if you don't know his story, Gossman has had some hurdles getting to this point in his career. He was drafted out of LSU in the first round, 4th overall by the Orioles in 2012. It never really clicked for him there. 2018, the Orioles sending him to Atlanta. The Braves would later cut him. 2019, he lands with the Reds. The Reds cut him. The Giants take a flyer on him in that weird 2020 season. He pitches really well, and then, like some of these other pitchers, he's going to throw a splitter here tonight. So, where we were saying, hey, what's the key here for the Jays? Just keep doing what you're doing offensively. I think it's the opposite for the Dodgers. Just be smart about it up at the plate. Just work counts, and you can see if you can get to the Jays bullpen, because the Jays bullpen really isn't great either.
Yeah, that's right.
This story is a little muddy here, Danger. So, but I think we're going to be hearing a lot more about this. So, the feds are investigating a business that's owned by the Major League Baseball Players Association.
It's never great when the feds are investigating anything. You don't want the feds involved in anything, whether it's, you're in the NBA and you're coach and player. You got a coach and player that's being investigated by the feds. They just don't like hearing the feds investigating anything.
Well, let's stop right there. You're the Players Association. What do you need to own a business for? Honestly, what is it that you would do? Well, Players Way is the name of the business. Players Way is designed to host events for kids. It's been in inception since 2019, except, there's only been a handful of events. And the revenue generated since 2019 is over 6 years, Danger. According to reports, barely generating 6 figures over 6 years. The Players Association has poured $10 million into this. Okay, so where's this money going? The complaint accused MLBAPA, the director, Tony Clark, of self-dealing, misuse of resources, and abuse of power at the union.
Really?
So this is a whistleblower that called in around this time last year. Oh, by the way, the federal office that's investigating this is the same office that just busted the Mafia NBA poker ring.
Oh, boy. Here we go. How much of this gets brought up when they
100%.
sit down for labor negotiations?
The sinister part of me thinks, who was the whistleblower?
Oh, this is out for a reason.
This is definitely.
This is out for a reason.
This is like
your players' union is crooked. here's evidence. The feds are going after you, and you're going to push back against us wanting a salary cap?
Look at this. Your own guy, allegedly, is siphoning off this money.
Yeah.
At least if you're going to do it, make it look right. But as we learned from the NFL PA guy, like he's going to the
strip club.
Yeah. That's some nice slush money there. $10 million over 6 years. That's
none of the sad part of it is none of this is surprising. None of this is surprising. And you can say, this is dirty. This is dirty. Why would they? It's not dirty. What are we doing, guys? You think you're going to get away with something. You're not getting away with it. And somebody will use it against you when they need leverage. And the owners can use this against you now as leverage to get what they want. And I don't even know that all the owners want a salary cap. Is that do we know?
Are you kidding me? Do you think Steve Cohen wants a salary cap?
No.
So that's the key in the NFL. This is you have to go back to the smoke-filled rooms of getting everybody to agree on this because the Bills wouldn't exist in this league right now had it not be let's share the TV revenue now. And this is again, I'm going to get over my skis here, but we know that they are trying to figure out because the future isn't in ESPN or Fox for them, and it's in the streaming revenue, right? That's where, okay, can they divide that equally? How does that look? Can we drop, because streaming blackouts shouldn't be a thing. You want to watch a game? Okay, pay here, and then go watch the game.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that pie get divvied up? It should be equal. We want something positive. And that's what's kind of the secret sauce in this. Here's the Dodgers, the team that bought everything, and they're going to roll and like, ha-ha. Although Toronto's a big market too, but we don't think of them that way.
That's right. Interesting. That's an interesting development we'll have to keep our eyes on here. Are we going to see the feds dishing the way they were, dishing punishment out the way they were last week with the NBA?
Are you going to hear about this on Fox? Are you hearing this from John Heyman? Are you hearing about this anywhere else?
I'm not talking about it. I don't know what you think I am, but I know you don't have any journalism or credibility whatsoever.
No, because they pay you, don't they, John? Like the
I can't believe you would make that assumption that I would get paid underhanded by an agent, a player's representation. I can't believe it. Oh, sorry. I don't think anybody's going to talk about this. No, move on. This is not a story. I maybe I get a little bit, but I mean, sorry.
We've been saying this all week. College football is drunk, like stupid, S-faced, nearing blackout drunk. Just one day after Louisiana governor says the new head coach of LSU is not going to be picked by by an athletic director. The LSU athletic director is now fired. The development today is that the interim AD, his name is Verge Osbury.
Oh, Verge Osbury.
He played linebacker for the team for LSU years ago. He is supposedly going to be allowed to hire the new head coach.
Oh.
LSU also needs to hire a president, too.
Maybe the governor of Louisiana can get involved in who that is going to be as well. Or just completely neuter the pro. Like, by saying what he said, you didn't leave the university any choice. You're moving off of that guy for giving a 10-year deal to Brian Kelly. And for it going poorly, I don't want to even say going poorly, just not going up to the level of fan expectation. And now he loses his job. College athletics are great.
So here's the problem with this. There's many problems. One being, what does the fan base want? They want a big name. Okay, that big name, 10 years, $54 million. That's what you paid that guy.
That's right.
I'm going to come in for 5 years, 25. No.
That's right.
No, and there's an opening at Florida. There's an opening at Penn State. There's all these openings.
That's right. No more 10-year deals. Nothing goes well with the 10-year deal. No more 10-year deals.
Danger, you're going to be here in 2035.
Nope.
I'm going to try to stick it out just for the PGA Championship.
Well, we'll see. I don't know.
Actually, I'm going to announce my retirement.
Who can predict anything? 5 years ago, did you know what were we doing 5 years ago? We're in the middle of a pandemic. Things change. Nobody can say. Who knows? No, I don't want a 10-year deal.
Hey, the positive spin on this. The Sabres have points in 7 of their last 8 games.
Really?
3 straight overtime loss is not great.
Oh.
Including last night. Oh, in Boston, the Sabres were really thumping the Bruins. But it's the Bruins getting the 2 points. So shots on goal, 40-22 Sabres. Sabres, 25-12 in terms of the hits and in terms of block shots. Buffalo in favor 19-7. Yeah, it's a loss.
Loser point.
Not great, Bob.
Sabres host Washington tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. You'll hear that on 96.5 WCMF.
I mean, if you want to be optimistic and say, yeah, they've gotten points, but I'm not excited about the loser point, and they've had chances to win these games, and they're not doing it. What are we going to get to? What are we going to hear? Well, this is a learning experience. This is something we're going to learn from. No more learning, guys. No more learning. You're either a winner or you're not. These guys are a bunch of losers. Prove me wrong.
They make mistakes at the wrong time. It's a long season.
It's a long season.
It's only October. At least we can say, hey, they're not eliminated entering November.
Great. I'm waiting for the losing streak. We're due, right? Usually November, December, we get the long, terrible losing streak that makes it impossible for them to be playing relevant hockey in the spring.
So the question is, when do the Sabres pass the Bills in terms of number of wins on the season? Because the Sabres still stuck at 4. Bills have an opportunity to pick up number 6 this week.
Okay.
So,
today is Halloween.
Are we saying it happens before Thanksgiving? Because you're going to beat Miami if you're the Bills. Tampa, I'll throw that one up in the air, and Houston, I'll actually throw.
Okay, so you could say that the Bills will have 7 wins Thanksgiving. That's the worst case scenario, right?
Yeah.
And the Sabres are stuck at 4.
Yeah.
Can they get 3 wins between now and Thanksgiving? I think they can.
Washington, they host Utah.
Utah's good this year.
They host the Mouth Breathers. They're at Carolina.
Okay.
They go to Utah. They go to Colorado. They go to Detroit. They go to Connor McDavid. They go to Calgary. They get to Chicago. Yeah, where's...
No, I don't know, Gino.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they won't get 3. That's a pretty tough stretch. They're going to have to surprise some teams.
We should pop champagne. Sabres Day. They passed the Bills.
I got tickets to the Blackhawks Sabres game coming up here. I want to say November 21st.
That is right.
And I normally would take my little one, who's taking a shine to hockey. She is going to be in Penn State. She's visiting Penn State. Her and her sister are going to the Nebraska game. They're going to have a good time. So it's just me and Sandy. And so I floated it out. Her response:
no.
A couple date night is overdue, but a hockey game? Really? To which I can only say, Gino, it's tough. Being my best friend is a privilege, okay? You get a crack at all of this, everything that I have to offer.
All right.
If you're signing up to be my best friend.
I'm your friend here. I've got a solution for you. I've got an extra $50 certificate to Bill Gray's.
Oh, take her to Bill Gray's.
Yeah, like that. You just want a quick date night. Just go and have a meal. Go to the tap room.
Yeah. I'm sure
that's all she wants. She wants your time.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. Does it help that these tickets were gifted to me? That I didn't have to pay for these tickets? They're free. I mean, it's a free ticket.
No. The other thing too. That's right. So that's the date where RIT plays at 6. So that would have timed out perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could have gotten there in plenty of time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a Friday night.
Well, you got to find somebody to go with.
Now I got to find somebody to go with because it doesn't sound like she's less than enthusiastic about taking in a Sabres game with her husband, her best friend.
Who of the neighborhood Goombas is a hockey fan?
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not too worried about it. We'll fill out the dance card.
A popular website shutting down. Ever hear of UniWatch? UniWatch for many years was on ESPN.com before spinning off on its own in 2019. Paul Lucas is the owner. He started this 25 years ago doing this in the Village Voice. Today he pulled the plug on UniWatch, saying that he was trying to sell the website, couldn't find a buyer. All the social media feeds have been deleted. The website expected to be gone next week. I credit this guy with kind of creating this cottage industry of people tracking what are the Bills wearing? What is this team wearing? What's the uniform change?
But then again, how do you sell that? How do you make money on that? You're basically just throwing it out. I mean, unless you have a way, some kind of partnership deal with Fanatics where you can click right to the uniform that you're checking out on UniWatch to go and buy it somewhere.
That's correct. Like, if you're not selling the advertising itself at some point, and it becomes a grind. It kind of came off more as a blog. He never really designed it to, like, it still has that kind of blog.
When was the last
feel
time you
to it.
heard blog? Blogs are not a thing anymore. Like when, blogging, nobody blogs anymore. Everything's on your phone. Everything's video. That's tough. We love some hot uniform talk here in the sports bar. I don't like seeing one of the OGs of hot uniform talk go down.
You got the other guy in Canada, Chris Creamer. He's pretty good, too. So
okay.
That's the other guy.
All right.
Oh, great. It's another carriage dispute.
Sure
ESPN
is.
Disney against YouTube TV and Google Disney going off YouTube last night, and with a college football Saturday coming up, Monday Night Football 2. No idea when this will be resolved, or will it? I mean, Danger, if you're a YouTube subscriber, Disney would love to have you buy their platform directly, or perhaps their platform they own called Hulu.
Disney is also, I think it just got approved. There's some kind of content merger happening with Disney and Fubo. And I think all of this is happening like simultaneously here. So I've been a Fubo guy for years, but I've also been a Hulu, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus guy for years. I've paid for both, and I've been fairly satisfied. I miss out on some things. I don't get Turner, so I don't get the TNT or the TBS games. That hurts in March. It certainly didn't feel good this postseason. I actually did the one-day subscription to YouTube, the free subscription to YouTube TV, just so I could watch the Cubs lose to Milwaukee in Game 5 of the NLDS.
Yeah. Did you remember to cancel?
Oh, I canceled.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that this is all happening for a reason, and I think the reason is Disney is saying we've got a service that's comparable, and we've got sports. ESPN is under our umbrella, and if you're a YouTube TV subscriber only with YouTube TV for the Sunday ticket, well, here's something for you to chew on. How do you like no ESPN? Subscribe to our platform, and I think the ESPN solo platform is something like $24. I want to say something like that.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. Last time Penn State beat Ohio State, you have to go back to the year 2016. Ohio State has defeated Penn State 9 of the last 10 meetings.
9 times.
How do we think this is going to go tomorrow? Remember, Penn State was ranked second to begin the year. Buckeyes, a 20.5-point favorite at home. That's
Yikes.
a noon kickoff. That's the noon game on Fox tomorrow.
Pour one out for my niece. Poor girl. She's a senior at Penn State. I mean, she got last year's memory, so I don't feel too bad for her because last year was a fun ride. But, man, her senior year, she was really thinking this was going to be something special. And instead, it's just been a fart in the wind. This has been a bad, bad Penn State season.
So let's go back to your little one going down to Penn State.
Mm-hmm. She's just making the rounds. She's just visiting. I don't have any illusions that she's going to Penn State. I'm certainly not pushing her in that direction.
No, but I'm just saying that, let her make up her own
Experience
mind.
college life. Spend some time on a big campus. Spend some time looking at what it all feels like and looks like. Yeah, get that experience. I'm for that.
The rest of your college football Saturday shaping up like this. It's another test for Vandy. The number 9 Commodores taking on Alabama. They only lost to Alabama. Vandy taking on Texas. Noon tomorrow. But it starts tonight here, Danger. Halloween, Belichick, North Carolina taking on the Orange, 7:30 on ESPN. I'm not sure how it's going to look on TV, though. Tickets only going for $4 today. It's Halloween night.
It is Halloween.
Yeah.
People want to get out and have some fun. And we're among those people. Hope you enjoy yourself tonight. Have a good time. Stay safe. World Series Game 6. Syracuse hosting North Carolina. No shortage of action. And then, of course, everything coming to a head on Sunday afternoon with the Bills and the Chiefs. What does the world look like when we return Monday afternoon at 3? Can't wait. Enjoy your weekend. And stand by. We got Amerks Hockey coming up tonight at 7 as the team is in Laval. JR Sport Brief next on the Fan Rochester. Thanks for listening.
You're listening